out of his official role because he was doing direct call, which is not the way that the president would normally do it. But that's just like an argument in like the core side. Like if Trump decided he wanted to send a carrier pigeon or a text message, or he wanted a banner flown across the DA's lawn saying these votes are corrupt, you better officiate properly. That tells the president telling a state official how to properly deal with a federal election.
But that is assuming that he was actually giving an order. But he was not giving an order. He was asking for investigation. I don't think that is necessarily. I mean, like Brian was saying, yeah, well, he decided to be a dictator. No, he cannot be a dictator. They have the right to do things, right?
He is being a dictator. That's the job. He is the executive. He executes the laws. And just to be clear, the law he's executing when he calls up people asking about votes and elections, that's like a primary role. He's doing a constitutional obligation that there be fair and just elections in America. If, as an executive, he has in his internal workings a concern that the elections are not being done a fair way, then yeah, he can look into it. Now, if he says, hey,
votes for the other guy, get more votes for me, and that's like the height of corruption he sees, he doesn't go like, where are these coming from? Are these people alive? Right? You know, you can, but I'm saying as soon as you're in that conversation, you're stepping into immunity territory because we don't want to step on the toes of the executive too much.
Why not?
Because the problem is okay, so let's take as an example. You got to think a little bit about the formation of the Union. The Union was made up of states, and the rights were initially the states. The states decide what is murder, what isn't murder, and murder can be different in Jersey than it is in Nebraska. The federal government is made up of like a pyramid of officers on top of officers, this federal thing that we all have to play well together. So that means that the president starts in a bit of a weakened position. He doesn't have his own electorate in a particular location. He could be comprised up of half of the electorate of all of the locations. So to give him deference in ruling over the states, he gets immunity. We don't question his decision. At some point, the buck stops, and it stops with the president. We all get to vote on it, so like that's the representative. But what's going on in his head, we aren't questioning that. Part of the concern is states could then exercise influence over him by pulling him into courts, which they have control over because they have their own police and they have their own laws. They could make, like Nebraska can make a particular law that like Nebraska shall not be engaged in any conflict of ABC. Say the president is in violation of that, and then they've got the governor of that state, Nebraska, together with the legislature of that state and the judiciary of that state, which is a full like trinity of that state, fully claiming that the president violated the law. Now Nebraska has undue influence over the president. That's a problem. And then that's going to make all of the states be very litigious in weird ways against different party guys. And aside from just seeing like the federal government with their Congress impeach the president, you're going to see states have hit lists against presidents.
You're describing an ongoing issue though, right? Because then basically every state is doing that.
Right, that would be the concern. That's why we do immunity. That like he's got his own thoughts going on. He doesn't need to explain himself. And I think I read in the ruling they quoted from the Federalist Papers from one of Alexander Hamilton's essays about how we have like a vigorous, decisive executive. He's able to act. He's the guy that like he's not going into conference with anybody that he doesn't invite in. He acts kind of like a king.
Okay, but I didn't get it because when you say he has immunity, so for example, let's say Nebraska, that's the example you gave. Let's say they gave all of them, like say this guy is in violation of our law, but then he's immune. So what does that mean? That means it doesn't matter how you change your laws, no?
Yeah, it wouldn't matter if the Nebraska judiciary and DA were to say that Trump had violated some crime while sitting in office and acting as president. because while sitting in office and acting as president, he has the will of the people behind him, and he is immune from litigation against him.
All litigation.
Not see, that's the thing. Not all, right? In the Bill Clinton case, they already dealt with this. Bill Clinton had engaged in action before he was a president, and while he was the sitting president, they wanted to do a deposition on him based on his actions before president. The Supreme Court decided you don't have the immunity. The immunity stems from sitting in the office. The Trump case is actually dealing with stuff he did while in office. After the election was managed, he made calls, and the question is, are those calls a crime, or does he have a natural immunity because he's still sitting in the House? So then this court was splitting hairs between official action and unofficial action. So if he were to slander somebody and he wasn't acting in an official capacity, which would be executing laws properly legislated by Congress, if he's just doing stuff, he can face litigation. But if he's acting as a president,
because then you enter, as you say, in a process of splitting hairs. If you can actually start going after previous presidents or even sitting presidents for political.
It does open the door. At this point, like for example, I could theoretically sue Biden for engaging in some kind of a crime during that debate, because who's to say is engaging in a presidential debate with a candidate, is that acting in the office or is that beyond the office?
Correct. Yeah.
And once I have a colorable question, the courts are going to take me seriously, and if I get the right court on my side, they'll let it go as high as it needs to until someone reverses it, which is why this is a bit of a Pandora's box they're opening. Even though they're not saying that the president is subject to litigation, by making this split between official and unofficial, they're opening the door to a lot of litigation.
It's too dangerous. Yeah.
I don't know if it's too dangerous. I mean, it's getting more and more like that. We've gotten way more litigious. Like the past few elections, pretty much I think since Bush Gore have been sued on at the state level. So, it's getting more contentious.
This whole thing is a comedy show, man.
Yeah, it's called America. Love this place.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, then when, I don't know, it's ridiculous, because then when people are not acting as an official, for example, let's say that I am on my holiday, right? I am the president, I am on a holiday.
Right.
And I am drinking my piña colada at the beach, or in Mar-a-Lago, while I am not working as a president, I am having a conversation, a private conversation with my friend, the how is it called? The general attorney, who is the grandfather of my son. And so we're intimate friends. So this is not an official conversation, but I am going to talk about the government, and I'm going to do some sort of conspiracy, of plans that need to happen in the White House. So why would
once you're doing that is official.
Well, not necessarily. It's just like a talk with my friend.
Right.
And I am not acting officially. But it could be
right
claimed
now
that
is explaining exactly why it would then go to courts. You and I listening to the same story and having a different interpretation of the facts, that goes to lower courts, which try the facts. The higher courts, the Supreme Court, they are not a prior fact. They're not a first court. They're an appeals court.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think that, if you do a risk assessment, letting go of what Trump might have done with picking up the phone and doing that, having that conversation, is nothing in comparison to the precedent that is setting for future presidents or for future other public figures to then be prosecuted politically.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because he did it as president, so then he's immune. That's it, right?
No, that's the thing.
No simple immunity. That's what Trump wanted. He wanted simple, complete immunity. And there's a good argument to be made for total immunity, right? Like, let's say I'm on holiday and I punch someone in the face, and he sues me for that. I got to deal with that.
while I'm supposed to be responding to the needs of the government. It's my personal issue, but now I'm not thinking like an executive. I'm thinking like a guy that punched someone in the face. But at the same time, it's a crazy, dangerous thing. Even if you have the whole will of the public behind you, it's dangerous to just say, you get a blank check for these 4 years. Like, maybe we'll prosecute you afterwards, but these 4 years, go ahead, go nuts. That's a bit dangerous.
No,
so they're
because
trying to
it's
toe the
not
line.
saying go nuts, because precisely he needs to be careful what he does officially as well. Because, I mean, if there is a crime,
No, that's the mistake you're making. He needs to be careful for what he does unofficially. If he does it officially, the court is coming down pretty clear that we protect that. He gets immunity. If he's acting officially, like he's executing the laws of this country in whatever crazy way makes sense in his head, we don't question that. He's immune.
Right, but what if to stay true to the laws of the country, he has to violate like a million laws of each state?
Oh, we don't care about the laws of the states. Federal trumps state. It's an old rule.
See, that's an issue.
Because that was like a question as to whether or not it should be like a weak union like the EU or a strong union like the federal. Originally, it was.
Exactly. Well, that's 1 point for the Confederates. There you go.
Well, yeah, no, that's what was in contention with the Confederacy. And it was settled with the Civil War, and we became a more federal union.
That's right. That's why Honest Abe was a liar.
I don't know if he was a liar. I think he was a great politician.
Of course he was. Why do you think they call him Honest Abe? Obviously. Oh, shit. Obviously he was a liar.
Obviously he was a liar because people called him honest.
Exactly. But otherwise, why would they
Your mind
insist
works
he's
in
honest?
a strange way.
Why would they insist he's honest?
No. What I meant was, I said, no, let me explain. I said your mind works in a strange way, which I assumed you would interpret as saying that your mind works in a normal way.
No, my mind does not work in a normal way, that's for sure. But, like, for example, you see how Trump is being defamed, right? And how he's like, oh, this guy, he is this, he is that. But, like, you can see that that's not the case. Just drumming certain ideas in your ears makes you believe whatever is being drummed in them, I guess. And, like, by telling you that this guy, because he's dishonest, now we're going to brand him as honest. Honestly, I think that's more probable. Oh, shit. Yeah, honestly.
Well, to determine how honest Abe was, you'd have to do some research, see how inaccurate his statements were.
Well, it's not just about the statements. It's more about the intentions of things.
I have a question, like the official.
But it would need to be the statements. The first thing would be whether his statements didn't conform to truth. Then you could look for intent.
Okay, there you go. Beth is asking a question in the chat. Was Clinton acting officially when he had his secretary doing a BJ on him? I think he was talking to Yasser Arafat, actually, right?
No, yes, he was. He was acting in, of course, it's stress relief.
That's not why he got impeached for the whole Lewinsky thing, but that's not why he went to court. He went to court because of the woman, Jones, Paula Jones. Paula Jones was a lady he slept with at some hotel, and her husband had it go through the courts. It went before the Supreme Court. He tried to use immunity, and they said no because this was actions before he was the sitting president. Nixon definitely engaged in crime while he was sitting president, but the president that replaced him, Ford, gave him immunity right after he left.
So, but what's the issue with him sleeping with a woman at a hotel? I haven't got it.
My question is,
well, they wanted to sue for that.
Let me just talk about my question, right? If Trump misused funds by sleeping with whatever Trump Daniels, Clinton definitely misused funds time because
you mean his own funds?
Hours, was Monica Lewinsky on working hours? I mean, did he go to court for that? So,
Monica Lewinsky did, she got an internship, and then he moved her to some department to
or I think the people at the White House moved her to a department so that she wouldn't be distracting the president anymore. But then she was sitting right next to a different person who had also been sidelined because she didn't like the Clintons. And she started like befriending her and recording all their conversations, and it became a whole to-do. And then he lied before Congress, and that's why they impeached him. And the lying, that's perjury. You know, that's up there on the Ten Commandments. That's a big deal. That's how they got Martha Stewart, right? Everyone always thinks that you go to jail for like insider trading. No one ever goes to jail for insider trading because that's like impossible. You always go to jail for the perjury you commit in trying to hide your insider trading, which is what Martha Stewart went to jail for.
So, but what if I don't hide it then?
Oh, you're way better off.
But
That's why, if you saw that that whole GameStop thing, Roaring Kitty, right? They take him before Congress. They were accusing him of market manipulation because he was saying that this could work, and he was sort of winking to everybody that there was a short squeeze going on, and it could go up to the moon if they beat out the squeeze. And he was saying, because he knew that, some of the people that were betting knew that, but a lot of people didn't. They were just throwing money at it because they saw that it was working. But when they pulled him before Congress, like a gangster, he said, with his long hair and a bandana on, he says to everyone, "I just like the stock," which is the best thing you can ever say. No further questions. I like the stock. Go away.
The bandana
I still
was
don't
on
get
the
what the
background.
issue is with him.
Just correction. The bandana was on the background on the board with a picture of the kitten, but he had the long hair on. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that YouTube clip at Congress. It was awesome.
I still don't understand what the issue is with him sleeping with a woman at a hotel, though. It's beyond me.
I don't remember the particulars, but I think they were just like suing for sexual harassment or something.
Okay, but aside from that, there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Yeah, no, it was a boring, stupid little thing. That's why Clinton didn't even want to answer it. But when it goes all the way to the Supreme Court and they say you don't have immunity, some podunk attorney from Arkansas can pull the president into a deposition. And he did. The whole thing was a circus. But the Monica Lewinsky thing, that became perjury, and the feds got involved. And they were angling to take him down. The Republicans really didn't like him. And
well, that's the funny part. That's the funny part because the Republicans. Well, I can't believe someone will sleep with that, but that's fine. I mean, the Republicans do the same shit the Democrats do. They're just pissed because they're not the ones doing it right now. That's what it seems to me at least. Biden 2024, everybody, vote for Biden. He's amazing.
I also think that everybody should vote for Biden. Listen, so what happens? What happens now with Trump?
Nothing.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, what's the whole deal about? Why is everybody like just so upset? Is it just the Democrats being upset because he got immunity for these things?
No, I'll tell you why everyone's upset. Because Biden is a senile old man in the early throes of dementia, and they're trying desperately to distract themselves from the prime issue facing them.
Oh, this is hearsay.
No, I didn't hear anyone say that. I just made that up on my own.
But it is hearsay. Well, we're hearing you say it.
Hearsay is when I say I heard someone say it.
Randy's here, and he's saying it. Hearsay.
There is no proof that he is old.
Here, I say.
There's
it's
no
not proof that he's senile.
There's no evidence.
Exactly. There are no tests. I have never read any reports.
No, I love Biden. I think he's the best president.
Just because he had a little cold and he was a little off that one night, he's 100% great. Any other time.
See, that's why we're discussing the Supreme Court, because people are all full of energy.
Here.
They don't want to say that the emperor has no clothes because they're terrified of the truth of it, and they're trying to already convince themselves it's probably still fine. I'm sure Biden will win.
Why wouldn't you want Biden? Biden makes you special. Biden, your strength is in your alliance.
I'll tell you why I don't want Biden. I genuinely believe a vote for Biden is criminal elder abuse.
It is.
100%. Okay,
I have my morals. I wouldn't do that to an old man. I don't know why everyone else is so happy to do it.
Are you gonna now start acting like we care about the elderly? Is that what's happening here?
I'm not saying
Yeah.
America does. I'm saying I do.
Okay, first of all,
Why do
who
you care
is
about
Joe
that?
Biden married to?
Jill.
And is she a doctor? I think she knows what's going on here, okay?
Yeah,
Exactly.
she helped him off the stage.
She's a doctor.
Exactly. Why don't you trust the expert?
Why don't you believe all women?
I'm an American. We make ourselves experts.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, I love Biden, dude. Biden's my favorite.
Yeah, but that's just because you want America to fail quickly.
What's your favorite
I
part of him?
I just want to make money. I mean,
Those ears.
Democrats are amazing. They're good at making us money, and that's all it is. I mean, no one cares about the nation failing. Who the fuck cares? Shit.
No,
The
you're right.
nation
The
already
Democrats are
failed.
good at making non-Americans money, and the Republicans are good at making Americans money. So I prefer that.
No, they're not. No. The Democrats are good at making both people money, Americans and non-Americans.
No,
Yes, they are.
no, they're
Yes, they
not.
are. Oh, look, for a small fee of getting your kid touched and manipulated in school, you get to make $10,000.
That's not making money. That's being compensated for a crime.
Exactly. What's the issue
The
with that?
Republicans want you to actually make money.
No, they don't. Look at the Republican businesses. They're all like they're underperforming. The Democrat businesses are much better, man. Just look at the numbers.
At
Are
present, with a
flourishing.
Democratic president. And by the way, those Democratic businesses are not businesses. They're just like clearinghouses for special interest community organizers.
Well,
And
what I mean by them
it
is
doesn't even get to, like, I'd be okay with it if it got to the communities. It's just slush funds. Like, they just take it, and then they just hand out
Exactly.
checks to whoever they've got on their lists.
Exactly. And what does that mean? That pumps up other.
It means nobody's working.
Well, and what's the problem with that? Everyone's making money without working.
Randy, where
Because
the
this
fuck
country
are
was
you?
founded
Why
on
do
the
you
Protestant
sound
work
like
ethic.
that?
If we don't work,
I'm outside.
the world stagnates.
But it's not a problem because I personally don't stagnate at their expense. You see. That's the whole point. At some point, you have to start. Every man should start wondering: at what point do I put people's interests ahead of mine? And at what is the price I'm willing to make them pay so that I live a comfortable life?
What is the price I am willing to make them pay?
Exactly. I don't care if your child becomes like super deficient and if he's like brainwashed. Well, if I'm making money, then fuck it.
It's like, I am willing to pay that price. I'm willing for you to pay that price.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't see anything wrong with that. And no one does. People are just pissed about it because they're not the ones doing it. It's other people doing it at their expense, and that's why they're pissed. I can't
Okay,
believe
so, Magzed, can you please just kind of like help me understand? So what happened today is that Trump got immunity. Is that right?
No, it's not that simple. The court laid out the guidelines by which immunity would exist or not exist. So, like in most cases, it's got to go to the trial court to determine the standard. But now that they have the standard, they can just decide on it. A trial court wasn't able to make that standard before. They can make their own and theorize, but it's up for review. And now the Supreme Court has spoken, and that's the end of the matter.
Okay, and where is the situation now? It's just that I don't understand when I read about it because I'm getting all confused with all the arguments.
Yeah, it's going to be endless legal work. They're going to go back to the trial courts, and the prosecutor is going to argue that he acted in an unofficial capacity, that this wasn't him executing the laws of Congress, and the defense is going to say that it was him executing the laws of Congress because he had to organize the vote, and this is the way he was trying to execute the laws of Congress.
Okay, so he will be okay, and that's the reason why the Democrats are pissed off right now, because he has a way out.
Democrats are pissed off mostly because Biden is senile.
No, yeah, I get that, but just referring to this, I mean, like, is that the reason why they are all upset about what was the resolution?
That's what I'm saying. They're emotionally on tilt because of Biden, and they're grasping at further straws. Like, most of their best claim to prevent Trump from coming into the White House was one of the many legal cases they have against him. And they even discussed that during the debate. And it is a disgrace to be like trying to win the election by
putting out your opponent.
Yeah, that's a third world country move. Like, come
But
on.
why does it look? I don't think that it doesn't matter if Trump wins. It doesn't matter because after him will come a Democrat forever. I mean, look at the children. They're all liberal. It doesn't matter if Trump wins. Realistically, think about it. Long run wise. Who cares? Why do you guys? Only Republicans care because they know that's the last time they'll ever win, probably, if they win. We've been brainwashing our children in schools like since the 70s. Like, come on.
Yeah, why do you say we? Like it was you that did it.
Yeah, you're not American.
Oh no,
but he doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
but
you don't believe in that
he's
either.
profiting for America if he
I
has
don't
got
need to
stocks.
vote.
Yeah, but Issa, that's a secondary like development from his thought process here. No, but you're not actually like you don't care for that though in your personal life.
But why does he need to care?
No, I do care. My cash flow depends on it. What are you talking about?
Did you say your cat?
Capital.
My cash flow.
Capital. Cash flow.
That's right.
Your cash flow depends on whether Biden or Trump is in the White House?
100%. 110%, of course.
Ah.
So the thing is, I don't vote, but I can own people's votes by influencing them. That's what we do through the international organizations, which you guys fund, by the way. Thank you very much.
What do you mean by you guys fund? What is that a reference to?
You Americans.
That's right, because 80-something% of the UN funds come from the US anyways.
So we should diversify the funding of the UN? I agree for that.
No, I think we should defund it.
We should be what?
Defunded. Yeah, dude, Randy, what the hell is going on with your microphone? It's worse than ever.
It's very windy. There's like a tornado. But I'm saying I think you should defund the UN. But until then, I'm gonna use and abuse it.
It's on a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a walkie-talkie. Over.
10-4 good, buddy.
It's an actual half tornado.
10-4 good, buddy.
Fire.
Well, I hope that it doesn't take you with him, or do I hope it takes you with him? I don't know.
So, but that's what I mean. Look, dude, if you were invested in pharma, you also would support the LGBTQIA2S++. You would support them if you were invested in pharma.
Because of LGBTQIA+?
Oh, no, you forgot an extra A, plus.
100%, because the trans are dependent on our pharma products since the age of 12. Obviously, we support them. You see? So, but you guys are pissed because you're not invested in the right places. That's all it is.
Where are the right places?
Well, pharma, 100% is one of the right places. You know, weapon manufacturing. Look at this whole situation with Israel, Gaza. We're making a shit ton of money. Look at oil with Russia, Ukraine. Come on, let's get real.
You really think
where is work?
You think you'd make more money under Biden than under Trump?
100%.
Well, they are at least more predictable. So for example,
do you think Trump would end the wars? Do you think Trump would end the wars?
Yes, Trump will end the wars.
Okay, so why would you want that?
Oh, because you want war. I get it.
Yeah, so what he's saying is that people profit from the crisis. Yeah. So there is an interest of keeping these things going, you know. So what would you want to end the wars if you're profiting from it? What would you want to shut down? Hold on.
Yeah.
What would you want to end LGBTQ if you got investments in pharma? And LGBTQ will depend their whole lives on pharma. So that's
right. But what percentage of pharma is LGBTQ related? 2%?
No.
3%?
Well, Jacob, when you think about it, it's about.
Keep in mind because they're dependent for a lifetime on our product.
The treatment, the hormone stuff, Jacob. But right now it's 1%. But if you keep pushing that narrative, you might increase it to 5% or maybe to 20%.
Yeah,
and that's the point.
That's right.
It would actually be looked at as a growth strategy if you really looked at it like that, Jacob.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I would love if Biden remains. I would love if Biden remains and he can encourage Iran, and then if this Middle East war, hopefully it expands to Iran, the price of a single oil barrel will hit $120. We'll be rich millionaires, man. While you guys are bitching about Daddy Trump not being nothing.
I think you're jacked up though, because the petrodollar goes away, it kind of destabilizes the
Yeah,
market.
good, but that's
Now
another
you got to
thing, Carson.
diversify your.
Carson, that's
But
another
I
thing.
don't-
He's
I don't
talking
think-
Yeah,
about
I think
value.
that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Why do you say that?
Economically, we still have to buy.
Because we're talking about the value. It doesn't matter if it's in petrodollar or in parts. The value goes up.
No,
Right. And
yes, for the oil itself.
ultimately,
but
we've
then-
got to buy, if it's sold in euros, we still got to buy it in dollars to get it from somebody who's trading it in euros.
Exactly,
So the
yeah.
value.
Yeah,
Also, you're in the
what to buy
matrix.
it with.
but it would
what you
jack
buy.
you. It would jack you up as an investor though, having to change over so many times, and you actually lose
Yeah,
money.
but that doesn't
versus having
matter
to
right
trade
now. That doesn't matter for that.
It kind of does.
Look,
No.
I'm just trying to explain to you how Biden makes us more money. You guys can take it or you can leave it, but I'm telling you, people are making millions and millions, and it's never been easier. It's never been easier, and that's just what it is.
I mean,
I don't care about anything else.
but as a shrewd investor, you're not talking about cat food or like the fact that they want all these women single. Why aren't you invested in that?
Who told you I'm not invested in pet food? People are substituting kids with animals. Of course I have some catnip and all that stuff, and the wet food and the croquettes. Of course I have that.
No, but I'm saying like you make a big deal out of all this other stuff, but that's a bigger share. Why wouldn't you
But
talk about that?
There's a company called Royal Canin. I'm pretty much invested in that. 100%. 100%. I'm with you. I'm not saying I'm not doing that. You need to be invested in the right places. That's what I said. The Democrats help you in all of those. The Republicans don't.
Yeah, but if you're a shrewd investor, you can give your prospectus and look at the market and figure out what to invest in.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Right, but I'm saying as a shrewd investor, you'll be able to make infinitely more money with the Democrats than with the Republicans. Because, for example, the Republican doesn't want to pay tax. Well, I want you to pay tax because then the government puts it in a certain place which bumps my stocks. So I want you to pay more tax. Of course. Basically, instead of you buying my products, the government will buy my products on your behalf. Why wouldn't I have public health care? 100%. 100%.
I just can't get down with the government inefficiency.
I get it, but I agree with you. I think it's super inefficient, and you're going to end up like Canada, where I'm at. You're going to end up with like 5-year wait lines. But that doesn't matter because I make the money. Instead of you buying a cholesterol pill when you need it, you're going to buy it whether you need it or not with public health care. Why would I say no to that? When I need health care, I travel.
That was not that funny.
For what?
No, it kind of is because it's like silly. It's so silly.
It's not silly. A lot of people do that in Canada, dude.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying it's silly. You destroy this thing to make money, to make your life like less efficient.
Look, you need to learn from the Jews.
Wait, are you in
my
Canada?
God.
Are you in Canada?
Yeah, he's in Canada. Yes.
Oh,
he's in Canada.
happy Canada Day. Today's Canada Day.
Is Canada Day today?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think
why you're not working.
1847, I think Dominion of Canada, or sometime around then, was created, and Canada Day.
That's right. I don't even know what Canada Day means. I haven't met a single Canadian who knows what Canada Day is about. But
Wait, what did you say?
I said I don't know a single Canadian who knows what Canada Day is about.
But you welcome the holiday.
Exactly. You're making money by not working, dude. That's the goal, man.
Wait, how many federal? You guys have one more federal holiday than we do, right? How many holidays do you have a year?
I think we have more holidays than you guys do, but less than Europeans. I'm not sure how much we have, honestly.
I think you have 13. I think we have, or maybe we have 13 and you have 14, something.
I'm not sure. I just know we have more than you and less than Europeans. Because the Europeans really don't work. The Europeans really do not work.
We have 25 working days a year, so that means 5 weeks. And that's just the vacation, plus like 12 bank holidays or so.
That's right. And there's other things. So there's the federal ones, but then there's the provincial ones, which are also in
Yeah,
there. So
exactly. Yeah, but all
obviously,
in all, no, all in all, it's like 12 counting the official ones and the provincial ones.
So I
That's
wonder
right,
what the
so-
U.S. has. We have 11 then? I think we have one less than Canada, last time I checked.
Yeah, but we have a lot.
Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you are smart at being a leech, if you're smart at being a leech, you wouldn't care about the holidays because you wouldn't work anyways.
That's
the
right.
whole point. Exactly. Had work been something that's good, you'd find the master working and the slave sitting idling.
Okay. Smart leeches. Wow, I didn't know leeches could be graded on an intelligence scale.
Well, leeches are the smartest ones because they're just
100%.
sucking from the system.
100%. We're all doing that. That's the system. The system is basically leeches. Each one of them is like sucking off the other person and like living on their back. Like we're
They're my favorite parasites.
Exactly. Well, exactly. That's why I want to be them. 100%. 100,000,000%. But either way, guys, I gotta go. I would have loved to share more of that nonsense, but I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
Yeah,
Happy
bye-bye.
Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
So this is Yaakov. This is Randy or Rabbi, the troll that everybody complains about. That they say
That was
he's
him?
they say he's anti-Semitic and da 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 da. But this is what he does, like he just rants.
Well, there was some interesting investment strategies, thoughts. It was an engaging conversation.
No, he's a smart kid. I like him a lot. The only thing is that people who are too sensitive, to trolling or politically incorrect stuff, they can't stand him.
Right.
And then they accuse him of being super anti-Semitic and da 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 da. But it's not even that, It's just that he does this because he knows he's triggering people, and so the people that hate him, they just don't come again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm about to go into a doctor's appointment, so always a pleasure.
I hope everything is fine. Are you okay?
Yeah. Every 3 months I get Botox for migraines. It's a great treatment. If you know anyone who has migraines, I highly recommend Botox.
Okay. Yeah, that's what every woman says today. They
it was interesting.
They start putting Botox everywhere.
Well, here's the story. A cosmetic Botox practicer in LA was giving Botox to women, and he reported to, I think it's Eli Lilly, whoever makes it, he reported that a third of his patients noticed that their migraines went away. So since it wasn't FDA approved for migraines, they then submitted a trial, and a few years later it was approved for migraines and other things. So it started out as cosmetic stuff, and then now it's migraines, bladders, lots of any place where muscles need to be relaxed to improve circulation and use. It's all over the place now, not just in the face.
Oh well, I hope everything goes well. I hope that they don't disfigure your face.
No, they won't.
And you don't end up getting out of there with a super big lip.
No, I'll be fine. I do it every 3 months for years. It's easy. It's annoying when they do it, little 32 gauge needles. Whatever.
Right.
How are you? Just waiting
I'm good. I've been working today. Monday, woohoo! And just working. Need to finish still a report that was supposed to give today, but I don't think it's going to happen until tomorrow morning.
I see.
Okay, all good. Al, how are you?
I am well. I enjoy Rabbi as well. I think he's an excellent satirist, like a Shakespearean playwright.
People really get it. What he is about, they don't get offended. It doesn't matter how ugly and nasty he is.
That is the essence of comedy. We need to be able to criticize and mock our authorities, or our way of life.
That's the reason why he said, Yaakov. You see, you need to learn from the Jew.
What? What?
That's why he said, when he was talking about investment, he said, you need to learn from the Jew.
Yeah, we're pretty good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
We own the world already, so, for 0.2% of the population to own 100% of the equity is pretty good.
Yeah. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Eva. Hi,
Another
everyone.
Canadian here. Happy Canada Day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What is Canada Day about, Adam?
Can we just, it'll be July 4th soon. I mean, I appreciate you, knowing that it's Canada Day, but as a Canadian, this is one of the more, uncomfortable
questions.
It's just like, I don't know, overt nationalism that, I don't know.
No, just stop the bullshit. You don't know what it is about. Hi, Judy. Happy Canada Day.
It used to be called Dominion Day, right? It used to be called Dominion Day.
Judy, can you tell us what Canada Day is about, Judy?
It's about white man's burden. It's, we're working on this. It's about white man's burden.
Honestly,
what do you want me to do?
In my opinion,
Sir?
Canada Day
What do you want me
is
to do?
about fireworks. I'm just not tired. I got sick, so.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. I mean, it took away the brain fog and woke my ass back up again. So that's how I'm still going. Yeah, it's 14 hours now.
So it is libertarians, left of center, right of center, and right wing that are happy with the Chevron doctrine being overturned?
I would say anybody who's an attorney for the last 8+ years is happy that it's been overturned. I think that Chevron is shitting in their pants right now because they're not going to get away with what they've been able to get away with for 50 years. I mean, they're headquartered in Northern California. The refineries are right across the bay, and that we're constantly on alert for the people that live there, shelter in place, implosions. I mean, it's not safe, and they just get away with it. So in a lot of ways, the fact that they're now going to be regulated, as Bren said last night, like he's what did he say? The Mexican hat dance. He's doing the Mexican hat dance all over the place because of the Chevron case being overturned. So I think that all sides, Monica, are happy with it, to be honest with you.
It prevents some of the greedy corporations from bribing the career bureaucrats and getting allowed and away with things, I guess.
So 50 years ago, that case was decided, right? And that's why we call it the Chevron case. And it was a case that was overturned in another ruling this last week. But we call it the Chevron case because just like we call, a lot of people don't, everybody just says, Roe was overturned. They don't necessarily reference the case that overturned it. It's kind of the same thing. The Chevron case got overturned. It's been precedent for 50 years. So hopefully that explains things better to you, Monica?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. And it looks like you can collect rainwater in New York. I don't know when it changed, but a few people are saying that it's allowed now, which I think is a good thing, right?
You should be able to collect rainwater anywhere.
I'm looking here, there's 7 states, and then it breaks down to what each one is for. Some of them, it's just limiting how many, like up to 110 gallons, what you can use it for, just for some outside thing. I haven't read through all of them, but just looking at the ones I'm reading here, it's just limiting some of that. Some are just absolutely no, you cannot do it. Some have absolute no regulations at all. There's some states that actually encourage it, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, so there's, it's a mix of things, and I'm sure they have their reasonings for it. It could be, groundwater tables, who knows, but, so that's kind of what it's looking like, but yeah, I think it looks like 7 states here that do have regulations, so. I don't see anything on New York here, though.
Corey, for a state like California, and I've lived here my whole entire life, but, it's very strange as much as people complain about wildfires, yet it's illegal to collect rainwater. Like, it's very, very, very bizarre.
Totally agree.
Right.
And the fact that we've been in droughts, Adams, for how long?
As long as I've been alive.
Someone said California.
So the last 2 years we're not, the whole state is not in a drought. So it's like, but we're still regulating. Based on the weather that we're seeing outside our windows right now, especially up here in the north, the fact that we didn't have June gloom, which we rely on, to keep our lawns and whatever else dewy, because the fog, does produce moisture. The fact that we haven't had any June gloom and it's 88 degrees right now outside in San Francisco proper, like heat wave, hello, nobody has air conditioning, nobody knows what to do with themselves. It's mind-boggling that we can't collect rainwater. Now, I do. I mean, I do for my plants, but I also have I have more of a, what do you call those? The ice plant, which is an outdoor succulent, because otherwise everything would die. I used to try and grow roses, but nothing would survive when we couldn't use water. So, with all the water rationings, it's ridiculous that we cannot collect rainwater. Ridiculous.
I understood that California isn't really absent water, that there's spring water, but that the spring water is sold. Is that correct?
Say that again, Monica. What water?
The natural spring water. That's what I heard. I hadn't had a chance to investigate it, but that California sells a lot of its water instead of using it for its residents, or making it available to its residents.
Yeah, Brian was explaining that the other day. He said Dasani and another company got the
Arrowhead,
the water rights. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
One of the things
that's pretty insane. Hey, Adams and Shauna, you guys gonna stick around for a while?
Yeah, I'm off today.
I'm gonna mod you, Adams, because you're my favorite mod, and Shauna, because Brian said he's gonna mod you in this room last night, so I'm gonna mod you. Just don't mod anyone else. I think
yes,
Kelly
sir.
And,
Loud and clear.
Kelly and Roger don't want to be modded, but Kelly's already modded. Give me a hand. Thanks.
Roger's been here the whole time. He just hasn't come up.
Yeah, I know. He don't want to be modded anyway, so so everyone who needs to be modded is.
So, Shauna, why isn't California moving towards like desalinization? Like, I feel like that would be a large, a good solution, considering.
The gods of Egypt. The Egyptians, like most primitive peoples, were polytheists. Their pantheon was very extensive. We must not fall into the serious error of equating primitive with stupid. On the contrary, the state of Egyptian art, architecture, and astronomy indicate a high degree of intellectual attainment. We are forced to the assumption, then, that there must be more to their polytheism than at first meets the eye. Primitive man did not create the gods, as think so many modern students of comparative religion, who are destitute of all sympathy and religious genius. What primitive man really did, perhaps unconsciously, was to apply names and quasi-human faculties to these powers or great forces of nature, which he so accurately observed and which he believed rightly enough to be manifestations or symbols of the divine. All the thoughts and ideas, all the great learning and knowledge of the Egyptians found their pictorial expression in allegory, parable, and painting. The evidence presents itself simply that these many Egyptian gods, all symbolic of the various creative aspects of divinity, are emergence from a ground of being or Godhead, which perhaps the average person in earlier days could never have conceived, but which was tacitly assumed by the priestly class. The famous Egyptologist Wallace Budge confirms this idea, stating, "The learned understood the meaning of symbols and paid their adorations through them to the truths of which they were the coverings." This is not dissimilar to the lofty abstract mysticism of Meister Eckhart, which could hardly have been appreciated by, for example, a 13th century German or Italian peasant who angrily might place an image of a saint in a dark cupboard for not having fulfilled the supplicant's wish or prayer. At the head of the Egyptian pantheon soars a God who is one, immortal, uncreated, invisible, and hidden in the inaccessible depths of his essence. So wrote Dr. Marriott Bay in his description of the principal monuments at the Egyptian Museum at Bulaq in Cairo. And he continued, "This God is the creator of the heavens and of the earth. He has made everything which exists, and nothing has been made without him. Such is the God who is reserved for the initiated of the sanctuary." Most of the great Egyptian scholars recognized all the gods of all the pantheons as phases or aspects of this great God. Their religion and their gods must not be judged by the standard of the religion and gods of any later civilized nation. We can only know what the Egyptians thought and believed by reading and studying the texts which they wrote. And a final opinion on their beliefs cannot be obtained until all their religious literature has been published. And Wallace Budge went on to say, "The general outline, however, of their religion is clear enough, and it shows us that they possessed a good practical form of monotheism and a belief in immortality, which were already extremely ancient, even in the days when the pyramids were built." But an abstract impersonal God is far too vague and nebulous, and altogether unsuited to the layman's needs and comprehensions. It is too far removed from his concrete life here and now. So man needs a more intimate personal deity to whom he can relate himself in a meaningful way. As he himself grows emotionally and spiritually, he can discard some of the narrow forms that previously meant so much to him. As to which one of these gods a man originally selects, this has...
That shouldn't even be a dispute. I don't even get how someone's going to police the damn rainwater. No one should have any say-so on what I capture on my property.
Well, it's not a dispute, Hakima. Like, you have people like Kevin Hart, where the city, or the county, I believe it was, put a mechanism on his water usage where it slowed down the amount of gallons per hour, and they just took it off. Like, I mean, you can't, it's like putting a boot on somebody's car. When you're wealthy, you can find somebody to take that boot off.
Well, they did it here, for God's sakes. I mean, they were monitoring people, and telling you when you could water your lawn. Then you weren't allowed to water your lawn. You're only allowed to use so much water, and if you exceeded it, you got fined. I mean, California was pretty harsh during droughts. So, yeah. By the way, I'm not going to bring anybody up because I don't know some of these people, but somebody has their hand raised.
Oh, that's Richard.
I did want to mention that Bren was talking about California water the other night, and he was saying like 40% of the snow water that comes into California every year, 40 to 50% of it is just washed back in the sea because there's not sufficient infrastructure to retain it yet. It has to be, the reservoir system and the piping system is not adequate to save all of it.
Much to do with temperament and basic character, as it has with training and conditioning. A soldier or an aggressive personality would find the worship of Horus, who presides over war, more suited to his structure, while a sculptor or a poet would certainly feel nearer to Hathor, who is the patron god of the arts. One person may need a warm, loving mother like Isis. Another may need to feel watched over by a stern, testy senior such as Horus.
I'm a consummate gentleman.
Consummate gentleman.
We may consider the Egyptian gods under two broad categories. First, as personifications of the vast creative forces of the universe, and secondly, since man is the microcosm of the macrocosm, as primitive archetypes within the depths of the unconscious psyche. In fact, Dr. Jung has laid down the proposition that since the primordial archetypes function within the unconscious depths of the human psyche, as the gods of olden times were said to have behaved, we might just as well call them gods, for their function is at all times inviolable, immutable, and consistent. That man was fashioned by the gods in the same manner, or on the same pattern as the cosmos itself, of which he is a part, was implicit in all Egyptian religious belief. Throughout many of the rituals in the Egyptian religious texts, many resemblances are made between the anatomies of various of the gods and of man himself. For example, the individual parts of man were placed under the protection of, or better still, were identified with a god or goddess. His hair was said to be the hair of Nui, the sky goddess. His face that of Aten, the solar disk. The eyes...
This checks and balances enough that he's not going to be able to do everything that he wishes he could do. But so mentally, I'm prepared for it. What I'm not mentally prepared for is the potential that he could put 2 more Supreme Court justices in. It could be 7-2. I think that would be really unfortunate for the country because the further we go down that route on either end, frankly.
But don't they have to die first?
No, they don't have to die first. No, they can quit.
And it's theorized that the next president will have two opportunities basically, and so I'm not prepared for it to be 7-2. I think that's really bad for the country. If it was 7-2 liberal, I'd
But
say
if
the
they
same
don't
thing.
quit, he doesn't get a chance to
Yeah,
win it.
which two would be replaced?
You can Google it. I don't know. I've just heard it I've heard it said multiple times. The next president will likely have two.
Yeah, I mean, but he's in fairly good shape though. He hadn't had like two.
I don't want to argue about the two. It's likely next 4 years there'll be two. You can just Google what the hell the thought process is. I just go too deep in
Scalia was fast. He died.
I know there's some old people who've been there a long time, so I just figured I'd take it at the face value. But either way, not guaranteed. But let's just say one. I don't really care any more than he already has. Is problematic for the long-term balance of this country. We're already seeing some ridiculous things with the government. The court is turning against the large percentage population of the United States with a lot of these decisions that are not in line with what's in the best interest of the citizens as far as we're concerned. That goes for both parties sometimes when it comes to some of these things. And it's only going to get worse if Trump gets any more opportunities to add any more in there. So I don't really give a shit that he would be there for 4 years as a president doing a bunch of stupid shit and benefiting rich people and fucking over the middle class. I mean, I can accept it, I guess. It's only 4 years.
So you're not a fan of the Chevron death precedent? I take it.
Yeah, I have a problem with that one too. Yeah.
Chevron death has been the last 10 years. They just made it official. Trump cannot swing the court in any further way. It's already.
Oh, I get it. He won't swing it.
He'll elongate it.
Two more would be quote unquote swinging it further. Okay. Two more would be further. It's already swung.
Yeah, but the liberal justices are younger than the conservative justices.
Yeah, so all you would be doing is elongating it. It wouldn't be like a change. The laws happen to be very in line with the Constitution. It's just that you're so used to activist judges that now they have judges who actually follow the Constitution. It's surprising.
Yeah,
most of the country is happy with it. So like this whole hyperbolic, oh my it's none of it's true.
What's not true?
It's not true that he can swing the court anymore. It's not true that
it's not true that the next president could end up with 2 Supreme Court picks.
That won't
They're not supposed to be partisan, dude. That's the point.
Let me go find an article for you. Since you guys are going to continue to talk about this, because that wasn't even my fucking, that wasn't what that was.
Try me as many articles as you want.
Pushback on. But since I'm going to get pushback on it, let's just go do some logical research here, and I'll
You said something it invited curiosity, man. Like there's no hate or anything like that. We're just logicking.
He's throwing a flag on the play.
Oh, leftist bubble. Pushback because that's the bubble. So now you're gonna find an article that says the same thing, not the article.
No, I'm just gonna back up what I said about potential for 2 because I know it's fucking fact, and you can sit here and say it's not fact, but you got to show me something that says it's not likely. I don't have to disprove a negative. It's fucking hard.
But it's not it's an opinion.
I can have an opinion that's different than yours, and also speak to something that I've read multiple times as a possibility, without you pushing back on the one thing that doesn't make you feel good.
Mike,
why'd you lie? Mike, why'd you lie? Don't lie to us, Mike.
Okay, Mike, it's very simple. I know the Supreme Court well. There are 3 conservative justices, there are 3 liberal justices, and there are 2 that are in the middle. Roberts and Kavanaugh are in the middle. The article you're talking about is if Trump wins, then 2 of the conservative justices will most likely quit, and Trump will get to replace them with younger conservative justices. My pushback was that's not swinging the court, that's elongating the court. Can't swing the court anymore because it's already 6-3 in his favor. That's a majority. Listen to the pushback. So whatever article you give me will say the exact same thing. The 2 ones.
Okay, let me rephrase. My concern is that he could extend the court longer, appointing 2 younger justices and entrenching his conservative majority even further. Is that better for you?
Yes, and I drink 2 cheers for that.
Got it. That's what I meant to say. So pardon me for the other thing I said. I actually meant that he was going to entrench it further. I didn't really want to go into details. It was just a fucking generalized statement. But then you came out like a fucking retard. So there we are. Thanks.
The retard.
Mike, I got a question.
If clarity makes you retarded, then I guess I'm retarded.
If clarifying means that you're going to try to reposition what I'm saying as inaccurate, what I'm saying is largely accurate, it's just not specifically what you're trying to point out, then yes, you are fucking retarded!
Wait, largely, but not specific?
You could have just said yes to that right from the beginning.
Where was all this energy before when we needed a candidate to defeat Trump? You just threw in the senile old man. And now, suddenly, you remember.
I can't help you that Democrats are giant pussies, dude. I cannot help you
Everyone's
with that.
retarded because you're abusing the elderly.
I cannot help you with the fact that Democrats are giant pussies. That's something I have no control.
Yep.
Mike, are we living in the prophecy of idiocracy? Are you the protagonist that's going to save the country from the stupid voters electing a dangerous man?
Wrestler.
No, nobody's going to save the country from a dangerous, stupid man being elected this year. Unfortunately, nobody's going to save the country from either stupid, dangerous man being elected this year. Thanks.
You're wrong. Trump's
Yeah, well, our founding fathers had the president appoint justices. It doesn't mean that they get to sway the whole judicial branch of the government. What they didn't intend is to have a puppet president. They want the will of the people.
That's not so true.
Oh wow, man! Like that. I didn't thought that was kind of tacit pushback. I didn't think that was like a major point to draw that much frustration.
George Washington was a little bit of a puppet president.
Huh?
Yeah, he was a general. He was there because he was great with the military, but he wasn't there for political prowess.
He was bringing some good energy to the room, though, Mike. He's kind of like...
I was saying, that was some good energy.
I tell you, one senile old man, you put him up for president, suddenly everyone loses their mind.
Did he have a breakdown?
Man, that was actually really impressive, man. I was like, I only brought the Chevron deference because it tended to show where people were sometimes. And I'm sorry, I don't like unelected officials.
No one's noticing that one, but that is going to have massive changes.
Oh yeah, big time. Look, they're not going to be able to bring some of these like silly Second Amendment like challenges now, or even the medical stuff. Like it would actually like threw the monkey wrench in the whole COVID regime.
Yep, they're going to have to start from zero.
Okay, but who is going to follow Trump after he leaves? Is it going to be his son?
Oh, get out of here. Americans can't think 4 years in advance. They can barely think 4 years into the past.
They think into the past?
No, they don't.
Who's going to guarantee that Trump's legacy goes on?
You know what, Isa? You know how they've been talking about a lot of his youngest son?
Barron?
Yeah, they've been saying
that.
I
like Barron. He's amazing.
Right.
Barron Ross, 2024.
No, because he's not old enough yet. But that would totally make sense that they would pick Donald Trump Jr. and then from Donald Trump Jr. down to Barron.
I don't like this.
That would be wild.
I love Barron, and he looks like Trump.
I'm not for the celebrity or the monarchy by rule.
And then we can finally have
what
Bush.
do you think if after Trump Jr. gets in?
That'd be cool.
Because he does such a good job.
Trump Jr. is a fucking stupid ass redneck. That would be very good for him.
I love that for you. But I love it for us even.
He's a redneck?
Yeah, he's the redneck.
My boyfriend's a redneck. What's wrong with that?
No, I would see him more.
He's the one that Trump sends out to truck rallies. So what Trump does is he sends Ivanka out to meetings, or he did back when he was president. He sent Ivanka out to meetings. Had to be impressed, so she'd be there for eye candy. And then his other son Eric would run his businesses, so he was like the CEO of his businesses while he was president. And then Trump Jr. or Don Jr. was the guy he sent out to the redneck truck rallies, who would rally up the KKK members and get all the bad people, all the fucking people that we know that support Trump that he claims he doesn't really. Well, John Jr. handles all those ones, so putting him in president would be problematic.
Well, I'm just saying, so you're just mad that Trump plays a better political game than then
No, I'm mad that he
you're mad that he
support
played
of white
chess and y'all played checkers.
No, I'm mad that he accepts the support of white supremacists.
Like Robert Byrd? Like Robert Byrd?
Yeah, like that.
Wait, did
Like
Biden
Richard
denounce the
Spencer?
support of
Oh, wait.
Nick Fuentes? Because Nick Fuentes supported Biden in 2020. Did you ever see one clip of Biden's opposing that?
But in his defense, he had no idea what was going on because he's senile.
That is a good defense.
Yep.
I guess you stand with her.
It's not like that was ever literally his defense. Oh, wait, hang on.
Hey, actually, I heard this morning that they're going to release they're trying to file a FOIA request to release the recordings of that particular meeting. It's basically like a deposition with Biden and the
They're
what?
really just taking it straight to the press. This is getting worse and worse.
Hey, that guy is vindicated now. He was pummeled after he released that thing saying he wouldn't be juries would not find him. Juries would not be very, very difficult to convict him.
And then they're like they got all these supercuts of how confident and how strong and sharp he is, and I'm like, oh my god, man, this is crazy. Like even Morning Joe had to do the ceremonious U-turn on the talking point that he had just like a couple weeks ago. He's sharper than he's ever been. I'm like, what? All right, whatever. Don't believe your lying eyes because these are all cheap fakes. Well, I got into a back and forth with somebody online. Go figure, right? And I just asked the question. I said, hey, because this person was like super against the whole Chevron difference, right? And I was like, is there a case where you can think of where this may be a good thing, where it may actually go in, certain people's favor? And this person couldn't even handle that small hypothetical.
Somebody mod me so I can boom in the room.
Nice.
Hey, Issa, why do you got that Indian woman on your picture?
That is Kamala Harris.
Rest in peace.
We do realize why Hillary lost, right? I mean, a lot of people hate Hillary. There's a lot of people even on the left that don't like her for her attitude. People that worked with her, I personally have firsthand knowledge of that worked with her when she was in New York, and it wasn't pretty. There's a lot of if it were Michelle, different story. Hillary is just not someone that would work. But I think if they brought someone else in, and Michelle or whatever, it would be a lot different. But I don't think Hillary would have a prayer. Michelle would have a lot better shot just doing it on her own.
What if they switched it and put Michelle at the head and put Hillary as vice?
Michelle would be scared to death that she would commit suicide.
Oh, no.
Michelle doesn't want to be in politics. I don't know why people keep trying to drag Michelle.
I know, we keep trying to get her in there.
Yeah, she's not even a politician. She's just married to one. Like, that's.
Hey, but Adams, throughout here, 20 people have said they're not interested in the election or they're running. So I get what you're saying, that she's probably not interested, but that's a big job, and a lot of people, whether they like it or not, still would love to be president.
But Hakima, many of those people that you're offering as a point of comparison were already politicians. Okay, Michelle Obama is not a politician. She has no desire to be in politics. She's made that very clear.
Have you guys paid attention to Dr. Shiva at all? And a lot of people say, oh, he wasn't born here, but he's got a lot of constitutional knowledge, and he studied it very well and proven that, with the different amendments, that there's no such thing as a second-class citizen, blah, blah, blah. And it's very interesting to listen to him, but the man is smart. I think he'd be great. He's, I think, a great no BS kind of guy, but you just can't get the footing in this system the way it's set up. So, I mean, I think we've had some decent people try to run. You just can't get footing.
You think Newsom is too liberal to win the election at this point?
He's too
So
drunk.
here in Florida, I'll just tell you that there were people that came here from Silicon Valley, from San Francisco, admittedly left, and they left California because of what it became. And they literally had said, "Don't worry, guys, we're not going to change. We're not going to vote the same way. We lean left, but we don't want that. We left it for a reason." And so you're having a lot of people who aren't real happy with what's happening in California. Some people might love him, but I think there's a lot of the country who sees what's going on in California and not a big fan of it. So I don't know that Newsom would be. I think he looks the part. He's well spoken. He comes across very intelligent. I just think when you look at a lot of the issues there, that's where it would hurt him the most. I just don't know why Manchin didn't try running. Think about it. Manchin would pull the middle vote, have a chance at pulling the ones who weren't Trump supporters but are conservative. The fact of he can say it. He could let them both argue about the debt, and he'd be like, "Wait a minute, if it weren't for me, you guys would have ran up another $9 trillion in debt with what you wanted in your COVID spending. So hush and let me be the adult in the room," because he had to be. And he wanted to cut it more, but he realized that his party wasn't going to allow that. So he got it to wherever it was. What was it, 3 trillion? It shows that he's fiscally responsible. His state is purple, so he knows how to appease both sides. I just think that he would have been, and if you listen to him speak, he's always very professional, very courteous. He doesn't get into the degrading of each other. And to me, I would love to see all our politicians that way. Show respect to each other and argue your point respectfully. And that's where Manchin is.
I think that California's biggest problem in how we ended up with Newsom was that stupid nonsense that Meg Whitman did. And that's specifically the reason why I did not vote for her, regardless of whether she was a Republican or not. Because having illegal immigrants up in your house working like that's just completely unacceptable.
Did I just hear someone say Manchin will win a Dem primaries? Manchin will not even win 3 states, maybe West Virginia. He won't win Maryland. You don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. He's not going to win.
If Manchin were to debate anybody on that Democratic stage, he would have destroyed it. If he were to debate Biden, it would have been 20 times worse than what it was with.
Again, this not. I don't know if you follow Democratic primaries or your party member. Manchin can never win a Dem primary. He can't even win the elections in his home state right now. So I don't know what you're bringing up. Manchin is too centrist for the left and too moderate for the centrists. I don't know what you're talking about.
And if you look at the polls, most of the people are going to the middle from both parties. Okay, so the difference is you put him on a stage with those two, and it is a whitewash with both of them. Okay, the guy he's far better spoke. He's more intelligent. He could talk facts. He can talk numbers. He can talk about what he's done with both sides. Show me where Biden's worked across the aisle. Show me where Trump has worked across the aisle. I can't. But there's so many people from the left and the right that are sick of the left and the right. And what you're talking about is a polarized left and a polarized right. And I think everybody in here is about sick and tired of that. So give us an option that's actually pretty decent. And guess what? You have a force to be reckoned with. I guarantee it. Okay. Now you want to say he can't win a primary. Hold on. Let me finish. You say he can't win a primary. Yeah, because the primary is rigged. Okay, the whole setup is rigged. People want to change Biden. If you want to change Biden right now, you chose not to have a debate. That's your fault.
I mean, you're not a Democrat, so you're making a stupid point. Hold on, let me finish, Brent. Manchin cannot win a primaries. Nobody likes Manchin in the Democratic Party. So it's not what you think or how you feel about him. Manchin, and this idea that primaries are rigged is just silly. Primaries are rigged only when you lose.
We're past primary.
Okay, but
we're talking about presidency.
So
Manchin is still not going to win.
Odie, hear me out on this. One of the things that we really need to stop doing is examining these possible candidates that are approaching 80. Okay? That's how we ended up in this situation, by having no generational representation in the people who are leading us today.
How old is Manchin?
He's in his 70s.
I mean,
so the previous speaker said, "Show me where Biden has worked across the aisle." Can we say Inflation Reduction Act? Can we say?
Let me answer that question, Brent.
Can we say The debt ceiling deal? Can we say, multiple times Joe Biden has worked across the aisle? I think the problem with Joe Biden is he looks like a corpse, and he is looking further like a corpse as time goes on. And I personally hope he steps down. If he doesn't, I'll still vote for him. But don't kid yourself. The Democratic Party has a deep and vast bench. I mean, Josh Shapiro would obliterate Trump, as would Gretchen Whitmer, as would a lot of possible Democratic nominees. And I hope eventually Joe Biden does the right thing and pulls out before the convention.
All that money they've raised, if Biden does pull out, you get it. It probably hasn't pulled in a while. Anyways, if he does pull out of the race, all that money they've raised has to sit there. They can't use it. You cannot use that money for another campaign, which is interesting. I didn't know that until today. So it's like there's two.
That's actually not true. I mean, it would go in the hands of Kamala Harris, and Harris could use it. I believe Harris could make essentially transfer it to another candidate if she's so huge.
You can't transfer now. If it went to Kamala Harris, I'm not sure, but I don't think Kamala Harris is going to be the pick. But
no, I'm not saying she's the pick, but it's the Biden-Harris campaign. If the top of the ticket immediately removes himself, the next person that is running for a constitutional office will have control of that money.
You can't. It's against the law. That money was
that's what the DNC told donors this morning would occur, and I'm happy to post the article on that.
Please do, because I might be heading. I'm wrong more than I am right. So yeah, I'm gonna get on the Google machine and see what it says. That's what Ben Shapiro said today. That the money's not transferable to another campaign. It just sits there.
You cannot keep listening to Ben Shapiro, Matt.
Oh, Ben Shapiro.
Okay, you think Steve Bannon is the greatest thing that's ever walked this earth? This morning.
God bless his heart. He's in prison right now, and it's so sad for him.
Okay, y'all can sit here and laugh, but at 3 a.m. Matt's time, he woke up, came in this room, and told us all that he thinks Steve Bannon is misunderstood and is the greatest thing ever. And we had to explain to him why he doesn't have immunity, because he was not part of anything to do the president.
To clarify what I said I said, yes, I think that he's brilliant. I think he's he went to West Point. He's a very, very smart person. Most importantly, he's probably the reason, he's a huge factor of why Donald Trump is sitting in office. Was with the president, because decisions that he made from the top. That is anybody's guess, but I think that's a big factor. One of the many factors, but a big factor of why he won the presidency.
Did you say he's the most smartest guy because he went to West Point?
Who went to West Point?
Steve Bannon went to West Point. I think
he did not go to West Point.
West Point. Where did Steve Bannon go? I thought he went to
Nope, he went to Virginia Tech, Georgetown, and Harvard.
But I'm glad you think I'm so smart.
You are intelligent. Steve Bannon College. I thought he went to West Point, or maybe his dad went to West Point.
I gotta say that, and I'm not even gonna go on the Google machine, but the way Adams just listed those off so quickly, I think he's probably right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I say this to my wife daily, morning, afternoon, and night. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. What's yours is yours, and what's mine is yours.
No, it's okay. It wasn't a gotcha moment. My uncle taught at West Point, so I wasn't gonna, put that on them. But yeah, he did. He did not go to.
You knew all three schools at the top of, at the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, which is pretty damn good. But I do think he was if there's 5 different factors of why Trump is in office, he would be one of those 5 factors. I mean, he was the reason why he got the 5 women sat down and had the conference before the debate. He was the reason why those 5 women sat down on the day of the debate after the Grab Me by the Pussy tape came out. He was the reason why they also attended the debate. So there's just a lot of, anyways, pretty interesting. It's, again, Frontline, Steve Bannon, use the Google machine, the YouTube machine, and it's a fascinating interview. It really takes you behind the scenes of the Trump campaign of 2015 and 2016. It's really fascinating 2-hour interview.
Matt, while I respect your outlook on that, I wouldn't vote for him for the fact that he does not look like he takes care of himself, and he looks like he's about to have a heart attack any day.
You know what? I think about that same thing.
Matt.
He doesn't give a shit.
Hakima, you're in the Matrix.
Did I get the Google machine? I think I use the Google machine. I think I got that from you, Shauna, using the Google machine. I used to say that all the time now.
Well, that came from Barth, a.k.a. who's now Steve again. So that's where it came from.
Got it.
In that horrible Southern accent of his. And now I actually say, I even said that to clients. That's how bad it is.
Well, we'll see. It's the transferable the funds. I'm gonna use the Google machine and look at that real quick.
For those of you in the audience, if you want to raise your hand and come up, please do. And hey, Gabs.
It says it right here. It says it right here on the Google machine. If a presidential candidate dropped out of the race, they would first need to repay all their campaign vendors. And if the campaign ended before the party's conventions where they officially select a nominee, they would have to refund all contributions designated to be used in the general election. After that, Biden and Trump could try to use, this is if they dropped out, they could try to use any leftover money to support their party's new candidate, but campaign finance laws only allow them to transfer $2,000 directly to another federal campaign. So the vast majority of their 8-figure war chest would need to be given to other groups like political parties or PACs. It should be a complicated process. So, yeah, they wouldn't. They'd have to transfer that money back. So I'm 1 out of 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they told. Essentially, if he withdraws, Harris controls the money, and then you can't give it to another candidate, but you could still possibly use some of it. I mean, money's not the key determinator of elections, or at least isn't, or typically isn't. I mean, if there were another Democratic nominee, theoretically, they would have enough money to run a national campaign.
I just don't. After watching people on the interwebs today, because that's the most trusted source of news. I'm kidding, but just out of reading and watching a lot of stuff today, I think he's all in. I don't think he's going to back out, because I just think it would be.
He's not backing out.
Yeah, in my opinion.
I told you that at 3 a.m. your time.
Yeah.
Backing out because it had already been reported.
I mean, we are only a day into this. The polls are looking worse. It just got reported that the DNC is trying to move up the actual official nomination of him, which they were going to do it. Which they had to nominate him early because of Ohio anyway, so that'll force the issue. So declaration, like declaring he won't back out, I don't think he'll back out. I mean, I would still give it about a 10% to 15% probability, but given how bad that performance was, I still think it's possible.
Well, everything that's being reported from Camp David is that he adamantly is not. He doesn't want to. Jill doesn't want him to.
Yeah,
His family doesn't
as
want
I
him
said,
to.
we're only 2 days into this, and the national polls are just starting to drop. So we'll see what
I don't
happens.
think the polls are going to sway Jill and him and family, but that's just.
Well, then his
my personal
legacy
opinion.
is Ruth Bader Ginsburg #2, and somebody needs to tell him that.
Yeah, but she held on. So the bottom line is Jill said it. She said it proudly. He answered all the questions. She's proud. She sees him as still a great candidate. I don't see Jill trying to talk him out of it. It's already said that Hunter is talking him out of it, is trying to talk him out of that, or it's said to be. So, who knows where this stuff is being, coming from. But, I don't see how he can back out at this point. I mean, he walked through the primaries. He was 90-some% in all the states. He walks out now, and it really makes a mockery of the system.
So Trump could shoot himself in the foot. He lost to Biden because of a mistake he made in the first month of his campaign against Hillary. Insulting John McCain on national television was what cost him Arizona, which cost him the election against Biden. He could shoot himself in the foot. Did you guys hear him saying he's going to a convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and said that's a horrible city? Can you picture the stupidity? He's got the political mind of a slug. He could blow his election. So Biden is probably going to stay the course. And I understand if Trump adds Doug Burgum, who's an incredibly appealing and intelligent Midwesterner with all kinds of street creds, and he's made hundreds of millions of dollars, it would be a very smart move. But I don't see that he's smart enough to do it. I'll leave it at that.
Richard, hold on one second. Trump talks about California all the time, but it doesn't stop him from running to Newport Beach to collect millions of dollars in donor money. So I think that people need to understand that the man is a politician. He's entitled to his opinion, and I think that just because he criticizes a said place does not mean that he can't be a benefit and a value to improve that place, even along his points of criticism.
You are not countering my statement. He made a mistake. Why?
Part of that. It's not. I mean, this whole thing is not real. It's just.
But
Yeah, I know.
YouTube
It's just pure marketing.
YouTube 1.0 though was that already, but then they did the purge, and they started getting rid of people because they weren't as marketable. Hell, like I used to get home from work, and like freaking Alex Jones was on at fucking 4:30 Central every day on YouTube, making a boatload of cash. In fact, he was even on The View.
I don't see it.
Yeah, he was a regular guest. And then like people like Stefan Molyneux, all this stuff, they started doing these little purges and getting rid of certain of these personalities because they weren't good for the quote unquote marketing. And then this is the rise of that whole woke culture that led to the Jordan Peterson. So by the time they had already kicked off most of these people, the international dark web people were like much, much later than that.
I like Weinstein a lot, but he stopped.
Yeah, I really did. I watched the documentary when he was at Evergreen where he was getting kicked off the campus.
That's Brett Weinstein. I like.
Oh, Brett, my bad.
But I was talking about his brother. I like him too. Eric talks a little bit too, like he'll call like a shovel, like the metal pointy thing that digs dirt out of the ground. Like he like talks a little too much. Like you could have said it much simpler. But he still has a lot to say, and he's a very intelligent guy. But he stopped doing the portal. He did like 10 episodes, and that's it.
He used to come to our rooms.
Yeah, he used to come once in a while, yeah.
Do you want the controversial take now about the IDW?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's hear the Sam Harris take.
Are you sharing? Oh, Sam Harris is a retard. It's okay. I told him it wasn't his fault because there's no such thing as free will on Twitter, and he blocked me. Yeah, it's about selective honesty to disarm people and distract them, because none of them ever raise the real question about who influences things and who.
Oh,
so it's yeah. So it's like fucking half of them are Jews controlling influential Gentiles.
Wow, it's amazing.
Do you ever
Who coined the term? Who coined the term?
You cannot make this up, dude.
Who coined the term?
Which term?
Okay, listen.
Intellectual dark web. Who came up with this ridiculous bullshit term? I know.
T, do you ever like feel?
Who is Ben Shapiro?
He's a Jew.
What origin does Sam Harris come from?
Well, he's half Jewish. But T,
such a thing?
Yeah. What about that? Yes. And what about his brother, Brett Weinstein? But he married a non-Jew, so I don't know what you want to do with that.
But does that make him not Jewish?
Dave Rubin's Jewish too.
Of course.
No, but it makes his children not Jewish. But anyway, T.
Well, he's gay, doesn't have children.
He adopted two.
No,
Yeah,
Brett,
boys, but like
no,
doesn't make
and they're
always
boys. Brett Weinstein's children. You asked if it makes it. You're an idiot. T.
Great.
I have a
Why the
question
fuck
for
are you
you.
bringing up their children when I'm talking about
Because you asked
handling
me
some of
if
the most?
Brett
I'm talking about. You see, you're distracting. This
No,
is a
you're an
fucking
idiot. No,
misdirection. Okay,
Oh my
you're
God.
an idiot, bro.
Is Joe Rogan
This is
a
more
Jew?
misdirection.
Is Joe
You're just
Rogan
trying
a
to
Jew?
take away from the fucking.
Is Joe
conversation.
Rogan a Jew?
Who's talking
No,
about their
Joe
children?
Rogan's not Jewish.
What have their children got to fucking do with the
Okay,
price
is
of bread?
Joe Rogan a Jew, Tim?
He's not
That's the
Jewish,
point.
no.
It's
Joe
about
Rogan's not Jewish.
handling
So he's
the
part of
most
the intellectual
influential
character.
fucking people.
He's being manipulated by Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro. Aren't you listening?
Yeah,
I have a
exactly.
question
Is
that I
Douglas
wanna.
Murray a Jew?
T. I have a question. that I
Like the
wanna
most
bring-
fucking pro-Zionist fucking one.
But he's not a Jew.
That's the point. Neither's. Oh my God, you didn't get it in the
Dude,
beginning.
being a Zionist, I mean, I also defend Israel, and I am not a fucking Jew. Are you going to imply that I'm getting
T. I have
my
a question
vagina
that I
every
want
day?
to. T. I have a question here from the board, from the elders of Zion. I'm supposed to ask you. Do you ever feel really stupid by being manipulated by a tiny minority of people? Like your entire life is controlled by like 14 million
Who
people?
said I'm manipulated?
You said that you don't have a
No, I
nuclear
don't know. I
family.
never said I was manipulated, bro. I never.
You told me you don't live with your nuclear family because of the Jews.
Hey, wait,
Like, you should
hold
feel
up.
stupid.
That's not what the fuck I said.
Wait, hold on.
I have like 10 witnesses.
Wait, hold on. If we
Were they all
extrapolate
Jews?
this show,
He's a
all
very
million-
weak man who is being
For sure.
manipulated by the Jews, the blacks,
Yeah,
and the women.
yeah, but check this out. Check this out. We extrapolate that very sentence. All mankind has been manipulated by a tiny minority of people. And I'm not even going to the Jew thing.
Wait, so T,
Yeah, but that,
do
you
you?
know what, Carson? In that, I agree with you. I do believe.
Oh, but you can't say
Hold
the
on,
little
I
hats,
do
bro.
no, I do believe that there are certain elites that have interests that can influence how the world goes and policies and all of that. Now, from that to saying it is the Jews is a very big jump, Tim.
I know they'll
And
call
again,
them the
I am
globalists.
talking
They'll call them
about
everything,
a lot of
but they'll
very
never
powerful
call
people, and I always bring up these names.
Who's
What
Klaus
about the
Schwab?
Rockefellers? What about the Rockefellers? They're
What
fucking
about Klaus
Christians.
Schwab? Is he Jewish?
Yeah, because he's the most influential man on the planet.
Well, he
He's
is
the
one of the most
globalist.
influential, influential men.
He's just a
He's just
distraction.
anti-Semitic as fuck. Like,
No,
No,
What,
he's
because
just
I've got eyes and ears and I trust my
No.
own ancestors?
no, it's the way you talk
Your
about
own
I
all
trust my
Jews. It's the way you
ancestors.
talk about
Do you?
I
all
trust my
Jews.
ancestors.
It's really,
you're just a
really
sad little man. I actually started to feel bad for you.
Anti-Semitism is trusting what my ancestors said about Jews.
What did your
and not what
ancestors
you
tell
said
you?
about my
Right.
ancestors. Okay.
No one about your ancestors. You're an
Okay.
irrelevant Irishman.
No,
Nobody cares about
Okay.
that island.
Okay.
Nobody. That's the problem.
Okay.
You're irrelevant.
That's why you
for
kicked them out of the
1,000
country
years.
for 350 years. Why
You're
did
not
we kick
British,
them out of the
dude.
country for 350 years?
You're not British, dude. You're an Irish.
Of
dude. You're
course not.
colonized. You're a colonized Irish.
Okay. Try to smear me harder, bro.
Would you like
Okay.
a potato?
Sarah, do you have still your Telegram?
Sarah's more British than you are.
Bro, you're a fucking retard. I've served in the British military, you dumb fuck.
You were drafted as a colonist. So
Okay.
who were the first ones?
Okay. Go put your little hat on, bro. Have you got your little hat on? Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Amazing.
Yes, I do. I hope it gets you angry. I
Okay.
hope it makes you not sleep.
No, it
tonight.
just makes you more obvious, bro. That's obvious.
Who?
That's good.
Good. I want to be obvious. I'm very proud of
Obvious
you.
about
As
what?
opposed to
Do
you.
you think that Meyer controls the world?
I'm
Who the
very
fuck said
proud.
it? Who the fuck said this?
I'm very proud of my ancestry, unlike you. I have to
Okay.
pretend that you're British when you're not.
For sure.
Well,
Who is
you
it?
know
So you've
what?
been kicked out of
Meyer
108.
is
No. You've been kicked out of 109 countries.
You know
Okay.
what?
I'm actually
Meyer
proud of
is even
that, too.
controlling- Meyer is even controlling my dreams. Because
Come on.
I-
You said 100. You've been kicked out of 109 countries,
I
right?
want to make it 120.
Okay. Would you tell us why you've been kicked out?
Yeah,
They never
because
they tell you. See, they tell
Yeah.
you what happened.
Should
They
I
never
tell you why? Should I tell
They
you
never
why?
tell you why.
Should I tell you why? You ready?
Oh no. Everyone else is
Sitting down?
jealous of God's
Are you
chosen
sitting
people.
down? Are you
Yeah.
sitting down?
It's those
Because
noses.
losers
We're all
like you-
so.
Are you gonna let him
Are
speak?
you sitting down?
Okay.
Losers
Blow my
like you-
mind.
Losers
Blow my
like you
mind.
need a scapegoat,
Blow my mind.
like you're doing right now.
Yeah, I need a scapegoat for,
Because you have a miserable, pathetic
Well, you're
life.
in
You
a
have
bro,
no
I don't even know a Jewish person in real life.
You blame Dave Chappelle.
I live in a
Dave
96% fucking ethno-central fucking state, which you could only wish to live in.
I'm very happy where I live.
Oh, really?
I'm not the one blaming
Well,
you,
that's not
whatever,
what
that's my
Israel
problem.
wants, bro.
Yeah, we should
I'm
have
not
open
very-
borders for Israel, just like what's going on here in the United
Yeah.
States. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be advocating
United
for
States,
black
open
men to
borders.
marry Jewish women.
Why Israel should have open borders with Palestine, Egypt, and Jordan?
Yeah.
All the surrounding countries.
Race mixing for Jews.
What's going on?
We're trying to diversify the, God's chosen people.
Open borders for Israel.
So who's voting blue no matter who?
Everyone
Retards.
should.
That's enough.
It is quite funny the amount of people in the chat I saw earlier were like agreeing with the title, not realizing it's sarcasm.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the
now
reason
what
why
if
I
you
have my PTR, so that people realize it's not true.
What if you had written vote Jew no matter who?
Ooh.
Oh, we can put that. Do you like that, Mike?
Oh, that's a good name.
Well, given AIPAC supports both sides, that is what's happening.
It's amazing. I mean, it's just exhausting having to go always to the exact same type of argument.
Well, that's because the facts don't change.
Cannot you come up with some other reason why your
The
life
facts
is
don't
miserable?
change, Ethan.
Why your life is miserable?
It's
Does it have
history.
to be
Like
the
I don't know what to
Jews,
I don't know what to tell you. It's a fact. That's why it doesn't change. Oh, besides the 6 million figure, which gets downturned to 4 million and then 1.5 million, that changes over time. That's funny, but it's very convenient.
That's been so thoroughly debunked. The fact that you bring it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's been
railway.
debunked?
Yeah, railway.
Really? So
Really?
they actually haven't changed the plaque in. It wasn't Auschwitz. It was one of those, and they changed
No.
the estimate. They
No, they
changed the
haven't.
estimate down from 4 million to 1.5 million. That's not
No.
being debunked. That's a
No,
fact.
they haven't.
That's a fact. That's
No,
a
he's
fact.
an idiot.
That's a fact.
How
That's a
sad are
fact.
you?
Okay.
Hey,
hold
well,
on,
listen, I'll go look it up if you want.
I don't know anything about the numbers. Where are
You
these
see,
numbers
but
coming from? Hold on. Where are these numbers coming from?
Let me go and look it up.
Where are you taking these from?
I'm going to go and fucking look it up. I'm going to bring you the fucking receipts.
Okay, as long as it's not from like Nick Fuentes.
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
Okay, try harder.
Yeah, I don't take Nick Fuentes or
Yeah.
Andrew Tate as a reference.
Okay.
Or Stormfront. I don't take Stormfront as a reference.
Oh, really?
I
Daily
don't know what
Stormer, you mean?
Stormfront is. I don't know
Daily
what that is.
Stormer.
Or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't I get their website deleted?
Oh, you talking about the Fed organization, Patriot Front?
Or something like that. I don't know what the fuck. No, I thought you said Daily Stormer.
No, is that what you was referencing? That's obviously a Fed operation, man. I hope you don't think that's a
No, I
real
was
thing.
talking about. No, I was talking about. No, I think there was a website back in the day called Stormfront.
I'm pretty sure it's called Daily Stormer because controversially Cloudflare, who was the DNS provider.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
tried to
It wasn't
pressure-
a news organization. It was a
Well,
forum.
maybe there's two. Maybe there's two of them then. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, I would actually pay money to watch. Let Issa watch every clip in this tweet thread and live stream her reactions. How much? Can we crowdfund this? How much did Issa have to watch about 15 minutes of video clips?
What?
How much do we have to raise to get Issa to watch about 15 minutes of video clips in a tweet thread, which is the most kind of well-cited example?
Okay, send it, but I want to.
Are you
I
sure?
want to see what.
Oh, listen, you can watch it with your own eyes. And of course, they just imprisoned
Yeah, we're
this
not
man.
gonna play here a 15-minute.
What is it called? The Jewish Defense League burnt out his fucking house, who then later acknowledged as a fucking terrorist organization by the FBI. Just real stand-up shit happened.
Post it in the chat. I will
No, I'm
share
not.
it with Maya.
I'm not. I'm going to send it to you directly.
Okay. Well, I'll share it with Maya and we can watch it together.
And they can refute all these all this testimony that happened in court in Canada in the late 80s. Was amazing. 1988, I believe. Let me see.
Just for everybody in the room, this is what happens when you go way too far down rabbit holes.
Okay. How would you know unless you've been down it? Auschwitz death reduced to 1 million by Krzysztof Ledzki in Warsaw and something in Tel Aviv. Poland has got its estimate.
How are you able, or how are they able to lower?
It's a fucking newspaper clipping. It's a fucking newspaper clipping.
How are people after the fact, years later, able?
This is like when you're watching a
recount?
movie
Oh my
and
God.
the chick beside you interrupts you to be like, "Hey, what's happening?" How about just let it happen? I was reading the fucking newspaper clipping, which is in the goddamn tweet thread. Okay.
It means it was a plaque. Now it's a newspaper clipping, and it's still
Sure. Well,
1
this is the
million.
first thing I've found, but right,
Ooh.
okay. I can go on and find the fucking granite plaque as well. Just
Next thing you know, it'll be a thought.
For
Do you
sure.
want the links, Sarah? Yes, please.
I hope you can all. Hey, listen to me. I hope you all debunk this.
I kind of wish it was true. If you can wake up
Here you go.
100,000 people, that would be
Originally,
great.
the plaque read, 4 million people suffered and died here at the hands of the Nazi murderers between the years of 1940 and 1945. Today, it appears to say, it's quite low resolution, I'll find another clip of it, which says, forever let this place something, a cry of despair and a warning to humanity where this something, Nazi murderers murdered about 1.5 million. They changed it from 4 million to 1.5 million in Auschwitz and Birkenau.
Okay, but how are they changing these figures?
Listen to me. This is the fucking camp themselves have had to change the fucking plaque. I am not making an assertion why. I'm just letting you know that it happened. You can listen to me. You can ring up the fucking camp, okay? They do tours. And you can ask them why they had to fucking change the number. Okay? How about that?
Yeah, they didn't. I'm looking at the original number. Yeah, they didn't. Look at you. Show me an old number. Show me a new number.
Dude, I'm going to get the 2 photos of the fucking plaques, bro.
I'm going to have to go and check it myself.
Back in time?
Oh, no, I thought you said that they had to change it now.
No, it's already been changed. It's been changed a long time ago. But at one point in time, it said 4 million at this camp, and then now it says 1.5, which is also fucking ridiculous. But
is it maybe because it takes decades to, I don't know, properly investigate a genocide of millions of people?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with the fact that you have to tag every single person.
How can they tag them when
they investigate every
allegedly they were all burnt in fucking crematoriums, bro?
Yes, but they know how many were taken away, and they know how many died.
How did they know that?
Well, dude, because they were citizens.
That's interesting.
There were citizens, and I'm sure that there are records of who disappeared, who was taken, who didn't come back.
Okay, the original plaque seems to be
exactly
photograph.
Birth certificate.
There's a photograph and a time. There's a photograph and a date of it from 1967, and let's have a look and see if the new one is currently still there.
This is so unhinged, man.
Birth certificate.
It's unhinged.
How do you say when they do count the people in a city? Census.
Sure.
Do you think that nothing of this existed? It was a jungle?
So So if anyone wants to know what actually happened was, according to the historians from the very beginning, the number 6 million included 1.1 in Auschwitz. That was always the number to get to 6 million. The Russian historians counted a few days. When Auschwitz went on and off of speed, like when they were murdering all of Hungary, they were at a much faster speed, but that only lasted about 6 months. Russians took that, extrapolated, and made the plaque for 4 million. No historian ever considered that a real number, and it was actually historians that asked for it to change. It wasn't like jerks like you who like.
What types of historians actually pushed for the number to be changed?
The Holocaust historians, anyone that actually, people that were claiming the 6 million number.
Right.
So this just gave fodder to weak-minded people like Pete, that they can claim that the number was pushed down. But the number 6 million, look it up, never included 4 million Russians. So you can continue to have your conspiracy theories and stupidity, but it's not like any part of reality.
So 1.1 is only Auschwitz.
Only
Auschwitz and Birkenau.
And that's the reason why there is a plaque there that you're referring to.
This is the plaque literally says Auschwitz and Birkenau.
So if you look at toward the end of the war, when the Nazis, that plaque in Auschwitz. Well, if you look towards the end of the war, when the Nazis were losing, instead of using their trains to save Germans, they used their trains to kill Jews, mostly in the Hungarian area, Hungary, Romania, Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia. Then they changed names 6 times. And that area is all Ukraine today. That took about 6 months. So they killed, they destroyed all of that Jewry. Not all of them were survivors in about 6. And then
wasn't Hitler motivated to do that because he met with what leader in the Middle East, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you
the Mufti of Jerusalem." So, but that was, he met the Mufti of Jerusalem in '38. Who exactly designed the final solution is up to debate. But the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem was definitely very happy with Hitler and excited for him to kill as many Jews as possible. So
because he did have motivation with that.
Yeah, that's all true. But the exporting of those Jews happened in spurts, and for about 48 months, I forgot the number on it at one time. I memorized it all. They stopped all killings altogether, and they were negotiating with a group. I can't remember the name, but there was a Miriam Fleischer in that group. There was a group of people, some religious Jews, some non-religious Jews, and they were negotiating with. I don't think it was Eichmann. I think it was Himmler. And Himmler was saying, if you raise a certain amount of funds, we'll spare the Jews. Now, we know from Nazi records today, that was all a ruse. They were just trying to extort. They never planned on saving any Jews. But during that time, either due to we don't really know, either it was due to this idea going on, or it might have happened anyway. But Eichmann, who was in charge of all those deportations, paused it for a long time. So the point is, if you take the 6 months of killings and extrapolate, you get to the wrong number. Russians did that, because remember, Poland fell under Russia for up until the late 90s. They put up the plaque, not Western historians. Western historians have always maintained it was 1.1 billion at Auschwitz. When Poland got its independence, they changed the plaque to affect reality. This 4 million number came from the Russians.
So if they change the individual numbers, why is the total number that everyone referenced still?
Because the total, is he an idiot? I got my answers, yes. The total number of 6 million always included 1.1 in Auschwitz-Birkenau. Always. Okay. It was the Russians.
So they changed it from 4 million to 1 point.
Oh, I can't. He's such an idiot. I really feel bad for you. Yes. Okay. I'll say it one last time. If you don't get it now, then you're too stupid. So just log off. You're too stupid.
Sure.
There's 6 million figure.
Issa, go watch the tweet thread, okay?
I will, but just let him speak, because then you ask questions. Just let
I
him
don't need
speak.
that figure. Always had only 1.1 million at Auschwitz-Birkenau. The Russians came up with the 4 million because the Russians extrapolated and didn't do historical research. Poland fell under Russia from when the Iron Curtain was drawn up until the satellites fell in 1991. Oh, you don't even believe that?
Let's do some basic high school math, okay? So World War One. No, sure.
Wait, you know math?
Hey, no. Do you want? No, I'm going to use ChatGPT here. So okay.
Oh, okay.
Right. So how many days between 1st of September 1939, which was the invasion of Poland, if I'm not mistaken, to VE Day, which was the 8th of May in 1945. And it's like 2,000 days, right? So ChatGPT says that it is analyzing, come on, fucking shouldn't take that long, 2,076 days, right? So if it's 1.5 million, right? So 1.5 million
Auschwitz
divided by
1.1 million.
Well, the plaque says 1.5, bro. So like, what is it?
No, it
Like
does.
the estimate just keeps going down. It's amazing.
You are so stupid. It's amazing.
Oh, really? So we're gonna divide 1.1 now. Okay, his fact, right? So we're gonna say 1.1 by 2,076. So that's the amount of days from the beginning of the war until the very beginning of the war, which is the most charitable way to do this, right? So that is approximately 500. That's 529. That means that 529 bodies were burned, right, cremated, non-stop, all day, every week of every month for years of the totality of the war.
Probably
Okay?
not per day, but some of the days were more.
It was actually higher. It was up to 2,000
Okay, so you're saying it's higher than this. Amazing. Watch the tweet thread where there's literally a crematorian fucking specialist who's been responsible for over 1,000 cremations himself. Of course.
And you know it was not just one camp.
There's always an answer. This is held up in court, and there's no fucking answer for it. Okay. You know better. You know better. Okay.
Okay.
You don't even know what I'm referencing. You don't even know
exactly. You think you're the first idiot that said.
Okay. I know.
He does.
It's got nothing to do with the fucking the massive money that's involved in it, right? How much
Wait, Tim, is this your big out of the Jews? Is this your big out of the Jews? Holy shit.
How much has Germany had to pay survivors of the death camps, right?
How many knocks to the head?
How much have they had to pay
to get this wise?
How much have they had to pay?
Okay, you do know that the Nazis...
How much have they had to pay?
Oh, my God. You do know
there's no incentive, right?
You're talking about the crematorium. That you know that the Nazis ordered a special crematorium that worked 24 hours straight.
Okay, where are the mountains of coal then? Like, how was it fueled?
Can you please just...
This has all been debunked, bro.
No, but we are trying to have a conversation. We cannot listen to each other.
He can't, because he can't stand up to truth.
Oh, can't stand up to truth?
He's a troll.
How did they fuel the crematorium then? How did they fuel the crematorium?
Just stop talking when somebody else is talking.
How did they fuel the crematorium?
With gas.
They fueled it with gas.
Correct.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know that? I thought you did all the research.
He did. He coal. You thought they were shoveling
just like the showers or the gas chambers, right? And there's no gaskets on the door, right? And that the buildings and the chimney, which they used for the crematorium, were from brick and mortar, which would not be suitable.
From the showers of cream.
You want to know why?
You know what? They also used wooden doors. They used wooden doors. Okay.
You know why
Amazing.
There's no gaskets on the doors? Because this has been clarified very recent, very early on.
Okay. So they thought of a nice little story.
Tim, have you ever visited a concentration camp or a Holocaust museum? Anything like that?
Yeah, no, I saw the swimming pool, bro, which wasn't for the guards. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why there was
so you went to the camps?
No, he said
no one ever went to the camps. Or you saw pictures of them, Tim, from the safety of your stupid home.
Tim hasn't seen anything. The reason there's no gaskets on the doors is because the Nazis burnt the camps down. The Nazis could document this in their own history.
So if they burnt them down, how is it that they exist?
Oh, good question. That was a replica museum built right after the war.
Wow.
That's not the original.
So that's
not the original.
You're admitting that
what do you think about the Nazis admitting to doing all this?
It's a fantastic point. So
what do you think? But see, what do you think about the Nazis admitting to all of this?
But they're liars. The buildings that stand there today are not those that were there at the time. It's a recreation.
You know what replicas is? Google it.
It's a recreation.
Mute up for a minute.
Okay.
Now Google replica.
Okay, great. So this is where you're going to move me to the audience, like the other.
No, but just nobody wants to move you to the audience.
It's ridiculous.
We just want to be able to speak without you interrupting.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim, shut up.
I know, Tim, shut up. Tim. Hold on.
He said, it's fine, I'm going to go this week, because I've actually got some work to do.
Good.
He said, I will just encourage you.
Nobody cares about your stars.
Okay.
Go back to your
Try harder.
Shut up.
Try harder.
Shut up.
Tim, you know I love you dearly, but it's very difficult.
Well, I'm not going to do this if there's this fucking constant muting. I'm not going to do this, okay? If it's constant fucking muting, I'm not going to fucking do this.
You aren't
No,
constantly
it's not
muted.
constant muting. If you just
feelings
That's about the fourth time.
Oh,
no.
if you just
Now you're
stop
lying.
talking, Mazette, shut up.
Now you're lying.
If you just stop talking when other people are talking, then nobody has to mute you. But you just speak all the time over.
It's nonsense.
You see, you're doing it right now. Just you can say that it's nonsense after the person has finished talking. Nobody is censoring you or muting you or moving you to the audience. We want to speak to you. Just take turns, please. Meyer, you were going to say something.
No, he has like a really old narrative that has been thoroughly debunked. It's not denied by the Nazis. It's not denied by any intelligent historian. This has been investigated. This has been like this is probably one of the most documented pieces of history.
Yeah.
So he asks questions that some of them have like a decent like where the gas came from is a stupid question. He thought it was coal, but asking why there's no.
You were talking about the replica thing.
Yes.
When he cut you off.
Yeah, so one of the questions that have been asked is if you test the walls, they don't have gas emissions in them. And the reason for that was the Nazis bombed it, they destroyed it. When they were losing the war and they retreated, they destroyed it. What you see today in that one, and I'm trying to remember which one it was, is a replica. So they
how
built
were there any survivors if they bombed it?
All right, that's interrupting. Come on, dude.
Okay,
if they bombed it?
Quiet.
If they bombed it, how were there any survivors?
We can hear what they want to say.
Oh my God! I'll answer that question when you're done. So that was like one of the stupidest questions I knew.
Okay, that's just a really stupid question. If it's so stupid,
it was. Okay,
if
so
it's so stupid, just answer it.
Like you
the
can't
answer is that the number of
quickly.
survivors. Okay, so we'll jump to that. The number of survivors in Treblinka is about 14. The number of survivors in Sobibor, because they escaped, is about 33. The death camps don't have survivors. They have like tens of survivors. The survivors are from the labor camps. The labor camps weren't bombed. They also didn't have gas. So the whole issue is not part of the labor camps. It's the death camps. Treblinka, Sobibor, a piece of Auschwitz, part of Auschwitz was a holy camp. So there were different camps. So when you say survivors, yeah, there were people that survived the labor camps. Basically nobody survived the death camps. Basically nobody, like tens of people. Sobibor had 33 people because 60 of them escaped and only 33 survived in the woods. So there weren't survivors. That's the answer. There were not survivors.
That's funny. Germany's paid over $95 billion.
Labor camp survivors, you dimwit.
Okay.
What does okay mean? This is not even.
It's just amazing that there's just, on one hand,
and he wants to back off of his stupid argument.
Even Holocaust deniers don't deny that there were labor camps and death camps. The fact that you think that you know something and you don't know that, is amazingly stupid. Amazingly stupid. This is not even like a good conversation. Like some people ask like intelligent questions. Like the gas was an intelligent question. Why is there no gas in the law? It's a replica. Okay, that's interesting. We didn't know that. But when you start asking about where the
reason there's no gas in the door is because they're all
legal camp. You're just an equal.
But what about the wooden doors?
What's the point?
What about the wooden doors? Were they
Wait. T, what's the point of you arguing this? What point are you trying to make by saying the Holocaust didn't happen or that it's overblown?
It's a kind of narcissism.
Wait, let's have a minute.
What's the problem in not discussing something which is question?
No.
Whoa,
we could discuss it.
Go ahead.
The issue is, you are, it's one of the most...
Like, if I was questioning Scientology right now, no one would give a fuck, right? The fact everyone gets their fucking knickers in its waist,
if you ask me a question, okay?
Okay. The fact that if I was questioning Scientology, no one would even
other people are talking. Or don't be annoyed when they tell you that they're trying to talk. Two solutions.
Sure.
Okay. So okay. As we just discussed, this is extremely documented, right? This genocide.
Yeah.
There are videos.
There's lots of movies.
The Americans talk about it. The Germans talk about it. The Russians talk about it.
Really?
So why?
It's hilarious.
Why?
The British.
You're not allowed to have
No. The British
you
look at
actually trying to do?
The Germans are not aware. Okay, and every night
jerk off on your own time.
Every night these camps reported 4 numbers: the number of people in, the number of people out,
answer my
the number of
question.
deaths,
What are you trying
and
to do?
shut
What's
the
your
fuck
point?
up. They report 4 numbers every night. Okay.
Despite his inflammatory things.
Okay. It doesn't matter. like,
Dude,
you know,
we
20
have
million
to
people died.
you
20 million people died.
You have to be
100
able
million
to
people
speak.
died.
You talk about the
You know,
1.5, the
it's ridiculous.
1.1, the 4 million,
No, no,
the plaque, and all of this. But when people try to respond to your claims, you don't let them speak. So this is then a non-stop nonsense.
Okay.
So
It's
can you
non-stop
please
nonsense.
just let people respond, or people ask you questions, and then you can respond. Nobody is trying to prevent you here from.
I think that's exactly what's actually happened. But it's okay. I
No,
get it, 'cause
nobody
that's
is preventing you from speaking. Just have a back and forth, not an over and over. Like
Really, I'm trying to make a point about how every single night, every single one of these camps reported 4 numbers. They reported the number of people in, the number of people out, the number of deaths, and the total head count. They did this not knowing that the British were listening. And in the German records and in the British archives, none of which talk about the numbers of deaths in which apparently happened. How could that be explained?
Okay, so
now.
let's just stop for a second. You're not going to convince us who are
Sure, exactly. You will not be convinced.
Stop,
That's it.
Tim.
Amazing.
Let it speak. Let it fucking speak, okay?
Get the tampon out of your pussy. Come
Does
on.
not matter
Can
what
I
he
at least
says.
say something? So we are all, most of us are Jewish people here. You're not going to
Exactly.
convince a Jew.
Exactly, that's the
Holocaust
point.
didn't happen because we all had family members that were killed, including me. Okay.
Okay.
We've all had family members that were killed. So you're not going to convince
Sure,
us.
most of them died from
research
typhus.
than you have, Tim.
Most of them died from
Why are
typhus.
you arguing this? What's your point? What's your point? What are you trying to
That
argue?
Truth is important.
Why are you trying to
Truth
debate
is
Jewish
important.
people? What's the point?
No,
Truth
he
is
believes
important.
like all Jews.
Okay, you want to hear
are,
what
like,
happened to my great-grandfather in
Truth,
Germany in World
truth
War
is
One?
important.
Do you care about the truth of my great-grandfather, Hugo?
What about my great uncle? In
Sure,
Germany?
tell
Are you serious about him?
maybe.
He
Like,
died in
Yeah, sure. He
Auschwitz.
served
You think
Germany
it's a
in World
lie?
War One. He had a bum leg. They had to throw him on the back of a truck. I have a report in German, published by Germany, that investigated the Jewish families from the town. My grandfather, actually, I saw this after he died. He underlined in pencil the very words where they picked him up and threw him on the back of a truck. That happened. I don't know what you're like studying and researching, but it doesn't sound like you're all that interested in truth.
Really?
Yeah.
So one case of
What happened to
something
him? What happened to my great-grandfather Hugo?
How am I meant to know about what happened individually to your?
You're telling all of us what happened during World War II.
I'm not telling you what happened to one individual.
I know what happened.
I'm
I
actually.
think he went to a death camp, Treblinka, I think.
Sure.
But according to you, there were no deaths there. So then where is?
I'm not. No. I never said there's no deaths. That's not what I said at all. I said actually the majority of these deaths were through typhus. That's what Anne Frank died of, if I'm not mistaken.
Through typhus?
What did she not get from? What did she die from?
Stop. At the beginning of the Holocaust, over 1 million Jews were killed by the Nazis, shooting and mass burying Jews as they came across as they invaded.
Really?
Russia.
So where are these mass graves then?
By typhoid?
Where are the mass graves?
What?
Where are these mass graves?
Okay, let me Google this for
they
you.
weren't
You're asking
separated, and so how can you count them?
No,
You were
you're
the
saying
one
they were
who said
shot. Sorry, maybe I was mistaken, or maybe I misheard you. You said that a great number of them. What was the word you used?
You're contradicting yourself here now.
What's your question?
I wasn't even looking at my phone. Someone was saying at the beginning of the war the Jews were shot. Something. I was asking to repeat himself.
Over 1 million Jews were killed by Nazi soldiers shooting them and burying them.
Okay.
So
where are they then? If there were these graves then?
In Eastern Europe, in Russia, where they invaded. That's your answer.
You realize, like, to this day, they're still uncovering mass graves. Like, it's not like they tracked every mass.
Yeah, like, Tim, is this a weird fetish where you want to be embarrassed in front of strangers or something?
Yeah, because I'm clearly acting embarrassed.
Hey, Tim, this isn't Pride Month any longer, okay?
Oh, yeah? In Public Record Office Document FO 371/34551, dated August 27th, 1943.
Just tell us the point.
How about shut the fuck up and listen?
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh my gosh, you fucking idiot.
Victor Cavendish Bentic head of the British Psychological Warfare Executive, admitted that there was not the slightest evidence that gas chambers existed and that such tales of their alleged existence were employed solely for propaganda purposes. I literally told you, public record office document. This is a British document. FO 371/34551 dated. Oh, I'm reading it out loud for the love of God. Hey, Joe, it's fine. You don't want to know. That's fine. Just, it's so comfortable to continue to believe everything you've always been told. Okay? So that's fine. You don't want to know. That's actually the fucking truth.
Oh yeah,
and
okay,
just like
you're right. You're
most
right. You're
people,
right.
and listen, do you think it's the first time?
Lied to me.
Do you think it's the first time this conversation's been had, and then people fucking like
such a fucking retard.
Okay, okay.
You look like an idiot.
For sure. That's it. Okay. Literally, like, head of the British Psychological fucking Warfare Executive is saying that it was a fucking propaganda. And, you know, we had a good run with it. We've had a good run for our money with this gas chamber story we have been putting out about. But don't we run the risk of eventually going to be found out that when we are found out the collapse of that lie is going to bring the whole of our psychological warfare with it? So isn't it rather time now to let it adrift off by itself and concentrate on some other lines that we are running? End of quote. No, this doesn't happen. This is an internal fucking British communication. That's not something that can be referenced by anyone if they want to look up the fucking archives.
But dude, there's like thousands of people that saw.
Okay. There's always a fucking reason, you know, you bring some fucking facts to the matter.
But there's one report and then thousands
Tim,
of people.
have you ever heard of confirmation bias, Tim?
Sure. What's
You have heard of confirmation bias.
That surely this would be facts now.
Yes or
is it
no?
not evidence?
Have you
Is
heard
it
of
not
confirmation
evidence?
bias? It was a
Is
yes
it not
or no question.
No. Is it not evidence?
Do you understand what
Is it not
confirmation bias
evidence?
is?
See, is it
Tim,
just because you don't
you're
like it, you
answering
can
my
dismiss
question
it?
with a question. It's a yes or no. Do you
How is
know
it a
what
bias?
confirmation bias is?
How is it a? You see, to have a confirmation
Yes or
bias.
no? I could explain it to you.
No,
if you want to plead ignorance,
I
that's
understand.
fine.
Michael, just
To
take
have a
that as
confirmation
no.
bias,
Clearly,
you
you've
have
got
to
some
believe
pick about being
something.
ignorant in front of a lot of people.
Okay. You say that like I meant to give a fuck.
Do you know what confirmation bias is, Tim?
To have a confirmation bias, I would have had to believe something in advance.
Right.
Sure.
Correct.
Sure.
So, did you believe that the numbers were overblown before you found this secret British communique, or after?
No, this was part of this was one of the things that it was
No, but
very
he
influential.
believes that the Jews are twisting his arm for him to leave his mom alone. And not
Yeah, that's exactly. What the fuck is this bullshit? You see, like, this is some
Dude,
bullshit.
you said it yourself. You said
No,
that
that's not what the fuck I
you
said.
said
Isa.
that it's the Jews
Isa,
that's integrating the
right.
families. And I'm asking you, why don't you leave
Oh
it
my
with
God,
mom?
every fucking aspect of degeneracy today is Jewish. That's what the fuck I said, including the breakdown of the nuclear family, including transgenderism.
Move them down. Can we move them down?
Sure, move me down, because what books was it that the Nazis burnt?
Dude, you just
answer the question. What books? Because no one likes to ask. What were the books that the Nazis burnt?
Tell us. Let's see what.
Does anyone know?
Okay, fine. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Tim,
Does anyone know?
All of your wisdom.
Yeah, you're so smart. Come on, tell us, Jews.
It was trans ideology.
Uh-huh. No, does anyone not know about the gender clinic?
I know about it. I've read about it. I know.
Okay, so then tell me, so that I'm apparently, it's not just my selective.
We know you're a white.
I'm bringing my own facts.
If
somehow
he says he knows. Question. We're giving you a fucking red carpet.
Should we go through the whole list of books that were burned by the Nazis? Like, you want them all? Like Hemingway, like H.G.
Well,
Wells.
Tim says he's got the list. Tim, please
You
tell us.
want Karl Marx, who was Jewish, by the way, so Frederick Engels, both books were burned. Like, which ones do you want?
The Institute for, I don't know, this is in fucking German, I can't pronounce it.
So you don't have an answer for your rhetorical question?
Was an early private
not a
sexology
book,
research institute from Germany in 1919 to 1933. The name is variously translated as an Institute for Sexual Research, or the Institute of Sexology.
Yeah.
And this institute was a non-profit, blah, 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 blah. It was founded by Magnus Hirschfeld. Magnus Hirschfeld was a Jewish German physician and sexologist whose citizenship was later revoked by the Nazi government. Amazing. It's funny how they went on to burn all of his fucking books.
So when you ask what books
So
were
the
burned,
earliest,
you meant
so is this not the first person to use the word transgender?
This guy's
No,
literally
he
a
was not.
white supremacist. Why
Was this not the first person to use the word transgender?
The funny
No,
part
this
is
is
the
the
white
one-
supremacist.
Who said anything about being a white
Brian,
supremacist?
he
Hardly you are.
Brian, he also hates women.
But
That's pretty in line with being a white supremacist, I would imagine, to be fair.
No, it's not white
But the funny
supremacy.
part is
The
white
first
supremacists-
transgender clinic.
And he beats his dog too. He beats his dog. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
By the way, the white supremacists
If
don't
no
even
one,
accept you.
if no one wants to know, you can look at it. There's the Wikipedia article. Okay, the
No,
first
yeah,
transgender.
it's not a book.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
aware of this. being
For
done.
sure.
And
So
then they killed all the people because they were Nazis. They dragged them to the streets and killed them all.
okay, so it
I'm
wasn't.
well aware of it.
Hey, you all know, but you all have no problem with it. It's no problem. Okay.
Do I? No, I like when
And,
Nazis.
and
No,
and
no, I
everything
actually like
today,
when Nazis burn down buildings and kill the people inside. We like it. No problem with that at all.
Yeah, I wish
so,
they killed my entire family, not just my great uncle, right?
Is that what you want?
That's what I wish.
Is that what you're advocating? That Nazis should come back and start burning down buildings and like torching gay bars?
No, what I'm actually stating is that there's a certain community which absolutely advocates for degeneracy.
Yeah,
Like every single
You?
aspect. Every single aspect.
You're not a
of
community. You're just a
okay.
loser.
See if you actually.
He's just a troll.
Every
You're just a
single
loser.
aspect.
You mean
You're
the
not a troll.
incel community?
Every single aspect of the Pornography Institute is Jewish.
Exactly.
Every
an incel
It's
community.
Every
Everything.
aspect.
Yeah. Who owns Pornhub?
Then how come they
funny.
have all those
Who
different
owns Pornhub?
It's
Who owns
funny.
Pornhub?
It's actually funny.
That's not true. The porn stars are not Jewish.
Look them up.
The porn
Okay.
stars aren't Jewish, Tim.
Okay.
Every aspect of the porn industry isn't
Hey,
Jewish.
Butts was
Naomi
Jewish,
Marcella
actually.
is not Jewish.
Yeah.
My favorite porn stars are all Asian.
So who owns Pornhub, right? Who owns
It's not
OnlyFans?
owned by him.
Jews. No, Jews only own
You
everything.
should go look it up, and
Yeah.
it's Christians, Muslims.
Oh yeah.
No, he's talking about the one investor from Canada.
No, I'm not. I'm
Jewish.
talking about
Yes,
the
he is.
founder of Grindr. I'm talking about the founder of Wicked Video.
So
I'm talking about fucking
okay, T,
the
move it up a
founder of
minute.
Sex.com and Match.com.
Okay, so
Like,
T, Match.com. Awful.
Oh yeah, Match.com.
Awful.
Really
people on
bad.
Match.com.
hey, John, great.
Wait.
Keep muting me.
Is it
Okay?
OnlyFans
It's
as
fine. You
well?
don't want to know. Just keep going with your fucking
No,
degeneracy.
T, I'm about
Okay,
to tell
T.
you the real information.
You know, that's okay.
There was a time. No, T,
Yeah,
you don't
okay.
remember
Go fuck
something.
yourself.
There was
All
a
right, go fuck
time.
yourself.
See, you're a fucking
Okay.
retard. You should kill yourself.
No, I'm gonna
Keep
I'm
muting
gonna
me. Okay, go fuck yourself.
Go
There
kill
was
yourself.
a time
T.
that nobody in the West wanted to
Brian,
see porn,
don't
and
say
the
that.
Jews forced them into it and put eye drops in them and forced them to watch it until they got addicted. No one wanted it. They were like, "Don't give us this thing," and it was only the Jews that got people to start watching porn. I remember watching it happen. It was so cool.
Like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that was Jews. Those were Jews, by the way.
I don't think that was written by Jews.
Okay, I am looking about Pornhub and it doesn't say anything about Jews. It says that Pornhub is owned by MindGeek. MindGeek, who is main offices headquartered in Luxembourg. It's headquartered in Luxembourg with its main offices in Montreal, in Canada. Then I asked about MindGeek, and it says the owner of Pornhub is a private company, and its ownership structure is somewhat opaque. However, it has been reported that the company was co-founded by Fabian Thielmann, a German entrepreneur, although he sold his stake in the company in 2013. And I asked, oh, well, what is the religion of Thielmann? And it says that, basically that he's atheist and that there is no information about his religion. But it started, saying the curriculum of this guy, that he's studying in software and he's from Germany and he went to this school and that and whatever. But it has nothing to do with...
Oh no, I found an article that people throw around. Rabbi on Pornhub, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, he's not the owner. He's a VP, and he defended
He was
investing
a
in
VP of a
Pornhub.
hedge fund that
Of a hedge fund that
heavily and
invested in
transferred it to
Pornhub,
different owners.
and he basically said that I'm in commerce and I do business, and I happen to be in this company, this Pornhub. And that is enough for T to say that the Jews started the porn industry.
Correct, exactly.
Was it confirmation bias?
That was fucking crazy.
It's beyond confirmation
Yeah,
bias.
he's not. He's
Hey,
mostly
is
just
this Al guy a troll? His name's Al Oscar.
Yes.
Al, are you going to say anything? Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I've been trolling here and there. Maybe you didn't hear me.
See?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so
This is what happens when you watch or you read
Team Left.
too much Jake Shields and too much Syrian Girl on fucking X. It's like the stupidest fucking. Yeah, it's the stupidest conspiracy theories. It's just like I can't even like. I've looked into them myself, and they're so dumb and so fucking shallow. Like, there's no like depth to it, and they're so easily disproven. It's crazy how dumb this.
People used to think we were in the information age, but we're not really. We're in a media age, which is to say that we get information and misinformation. All of these crazy conspiracy theories, mostly the role they're serving in the modern era is as a litmus test for critical thinking.
You know what the problem is also, like, okay, and we were talking about the red pill earlier today, and I think that the red pill movement, as I was saying before, it came kind of like an antidote, to all these like zombie-like people that just would take anything from the media, and actually got people to question things. And I am someone that likes the conspiracy theories, in the sense that it challenges your brain, it challenges your mind, and it makes you curious about something, and then you look for it, and there are actually interesting facts that you could be like, oh my god, I mean, history is full of conspiracy theories. And so the red pill came to like, okay, all of these new way of discussing topics, of having freedom of speech, of intellectual conversations. But then what happened is that, so people that didn't like that started the canceling stuff. So the red pill became even stronger, and it's like, oh, you see, now we're talking about the truth, and these people want to cancel us. So we went from a phase of, like, let's say, censoring, to a phase where just anything is allowed and any type of information is out there. So it's kind of like a contrast, because on one hand we had censoring, but now we have so much information that the truth is completely drowned in all of the information that is out there. And so anything that you see out there, they take it as facts, and people don't try to make the connections or make the wrong connections. Just as you were saying, like that, the fucking confirmation bias, which I hate that term, by the way, because I think it's like very woke. But it is a fact. Like, when you think something, and if, for example, if your primary statement or foundation is the Jews control the world, then anything you find that actually confirms that first thought, then you take it as a truth. It's like, oh, you see, we got another thing, and it's just never ending. And then people just go,
Right. In fact, like Mayor was saying before, that it's one of the most documented events in history, and it is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we're in a media age, not an information age. Even though we documented all of those things, and that's right for information, that's also right for misstatements, mischaracterizations, things that are overblown, things that seem unbelievable, and all of that is just fodder to just connect the dots in the way you want in a misinformation campaign. So it's like the war in Ukraine, Russia. We're still not sure exactly who's right. There's a ton of misinformation coming from both sides, and neither of them is legitimate. Is Taiwan separate from China? Really depends on how you look at things. We would like to think that because the printing press and now the internet has made anyone have access to any information, that we would all know everything, but it's in fact the exact opposite. We are all led to believe we know things that are not true.
Yeah, China and Taiwan are obviously separate.
Well, because it's
not according to the mainland. They're just a renegade province.
Yeah, but they obviously have a different governance structure. They obviously have a different economy. They obviously
again a renegade province.
Yeah, they were renegades pushing for democracy during World War II, and they found umbrage in Taiwan amongst the indigenous. By the way, they eventually had
when they lost the 49, when they lost the Civil War, they retreated to Taipei.
Yep.
And what is it called? Formosa? The island was called Formosa before that.
Yeah, and China still considers it part of China, and they're not like totally wrong. They have a legitimate perspective.
And sort of Nixon with the One China policy kind of endorsed it. We still sell defensive weapons to them, but there's only one Chinese government, so there's that.
But listen, I mean, like, I really like to have conversations, even when it comes up with like this kind of like very far-fetched theories, it doesn't matter because it's like, okay, if you go actually and engage in a conversation from an honest point of view, you're able to kind of like exchange data and say, okay, well, so why are they saying this? Or oh, wait, I read this here. So what do you think they're saying that? You know, it can become a good intellectual exercise, even if you do not agree, even if you're not going to change each other's mind. But what drives me nuts is when people just come trying to be right and they're just not letting other people talk. That's what drives me crazy. And it's a pity because it seems like he has got certain arguments, might be stupid, but it could be interesting for him to be able to say it, which he actually was able to, but he didn't want to hear any response. He didn't want
He's
to.
insecure about the knowledge he has. That's why he can't share it politely.
Yeah,
he
but
can argue with all of us.
He
does know stuff that we don't
Sorry,
know,
Miss
but
T.
he's
This
too obsessed with his own position and like how everyone disagrees with him. That makes his knowledge all the more important.
That's a proof that you control the world.
Yeah, but he hates Jews, man, because he went off on you the other night and it was like really fucking disgusting. And I ended up shouting at him because I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
No, but it's what I was saying. It's not only the Jews. It's Jews.
Yeah, really. He talks
women,
like that about everything.
Hold on. It's Jews, it's women, it's blacks. And this is what drives me crazy because it's just such a simplistic approach. And you guys know Jacques, right?
He's a troll.
Yeah, well, so
Engaged.
Jacques, I used to hang out
Can you
with
get
him,
this
but
Othello guy? He's a retard. Othello, you won't come up here. I think you're a retard.
who?
I don't know who he is.
Well, check the chat. He's just saying the same thing as the key guy.
Othello?
Yeah, he usually is in this room. He just must not be
but
able to
he's
talk.
usually in the room and he bashes me and whatever. He just says whatever he wants. Anyway, so Jacques was one of the persons that I used to hang out with, on a frequent basis, and we would talk about a lot of stuff. But inevitably, every single time, the conversation comes to the Jews and to women. Jesus Christ, Maya, are you okay?
Yeah, there's a crosswind that's making the door slam. It's like I'm far away from it. It just makes a bang.
Sounds like someone got shot.
Exactly. I was like, shit.
Is he in the room?
It sounded like a shot.
No, it's the door. I have to leave in a minute. No, it's for some reason the outer door is open today because we were doing something, so it's making a crosswind, and then this door just slams.
Okay. Well, so what I used to tell them, because it's impossible to have like a conversation based in arguments or asking questions because they're gonna get like this, like super energy charged. So I got to a point just like, the conclusion I got, and I used to tell them that it's like, okay, if today at 12 at midnight the Jews disappeared, the women disappeared, and the women that they don't like disappeared,
and the gays,
and the blacks disappeared from the face of earth, and tomorrow you wake up and it's only white men with very submissive women, you would still be miserable because your misery is not fault of all these groups of people that you're trying to blame. That you're miserable because you're not good enough, dude. You're complaining about other people controlling your life. Are you so weak that other people are controlling your life? Are you even so dumb that you think that you cannot do something on your own because otherwise all other people are pushing you down? Like, what kind of weak man, are you? It's lame.
He probably has a really tiny penis.
I said that to him.
What, the penis?
No, that part I didn't say. I said to him that you ever feel stupid that you get manipulated by such a few? But he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, what's preventing you from becoming more intelligent? Start reading every week.
The
0.2%
of the population that makes up the Jews.
Dude, but like that,